And if you had to choose, which would you rather have late? Me or the Democratic Iowa caucus results? My friends, hello, you beautiful, wonderful, incredible, remarkable people. That light is very bright this morning. Good Lord. There we go. My friends, how are a beautiful and a happy Shrek to you too. How are all of you doing? We've got so much to talk about. We've got so much to talk about, folks. We have just an incredible number of things to go over. Obviously, you know, we're in the electoral season, of course, you know. So we have a lot of stuff to go over in that regards. But before we get to that, there are a few specific things I want to get to. First of all, Flake, I'm sorry you're feeling dysphoric right now. I love you personally. Second of all, right now, I have a guest over, Conyer CC of Twitch fame, a legendary Super Mario 64 mod, hack, speedrunner, and political commentator via the Conyer Report. He's hanging out. Right now my cat is meowing outside the door because we kicked him out of the bedroom because he knocked over a bunch of art. He can come say hello. Whoop. Really quick, little baby time. He and Conyer have been getting along legendarily, I think. They have been getting along very, very well. All right, I'm gonna quit meowing at my fucking door. They have been doing phenomenally together, which is fantastic. Also, we went to Seattle with Conyer just the other day. And we got these beautiful babies. Look at this baby. This is my best friend. He feels so nice. His name is Chalky. He is plump like a booby. There was this vendor. There was this vendor down at the Pike Market in Seattle that just had these little plushies. Handmade. This boy was only $10. For a high quality handmade plushie, that is a steal. This was $7. That's incredible. This boy was $20. He's a pig. See? Anyway, they're beautiful and I love them. And they were made by Adorable Seattle, original handmade plush toys created with love by Wendy Norrell, machine washable and baby safe. That's good for Artemy. wendynorrell@gmail.com. Anyway, that was great. We actually got recognized, and by we I mean I, of course, since I have the largest audience by far of the three of us. We went to the queer part of Seattle, and we went to a coffee shop, and I was chilling there. You know, I was doing my classic. You know, my classic Vosh resting sit pose, which is where I man-spread and I just try and take up as much space as I can. Somebody happened to find me, you know, somehow, which makes sense because I am, of course, the largest left-leaning political figure in human history. So it makes sense. It makes sense that that would all come together. Did they yell at you for being a transphobe? No, I'm happy to say that actually allegations of transphobia were left on the table. So this means the last 2 times, okay, the last 3 times I've been recognized in public were A, when I went to an anime expo, B, when I went to a furry convention, visiting, not attending, and C, when I went to a coffee shop in a queer part of town. I can see my audience, I can see my constituency is consistent, if nothing else. Eureka Walking was after EX. Oh, that's true, but that was like 7 months ago, Hyena. Furry convention? Yeah, we went to Seattle to see the Joker, and we saw some people walking around in fursuits. And we thought, we're in the area, what the fuck is going on? So we went to the local hotel and we saw some people. And 2 people recognized me there. 2 people recognized me. So that was pretty fucking rad. Please clarify the difference between visiting and attending a convention. If I was attending, I would have bought a ticket and like bought things there and socialized. I just went up to the floor where they had the convention and like took pictures. I guess that's attending. You know what? I'll hold to it. Yeah, there. I attended a furry con, albeit for 15 minutes. Oh yeah, and guys, this is the funniest part. Here, wait. This is the funniest, best story to come out of the past 24 hours. Okay, best story there is. Hold on, really quickly. Let me pop this one up. Remember how I called atheism is unstoppable, autism is unstoppable? You guys remember that, right? So the same day I did the stream where I did a variety of things, one of which was tear into an AIU video, during which he went into chat and pussied out of a debate and then catcalled me for 20 minutes from YouTube chat. That same day, he then did a 3-hour, 13-minute live stream going over my segment of the live stream with a friend of his. This is the same person who said he was too busy to debate, by the way.
Very sad. Doesn't get it.
Yeah, the U.S. Bureau of Justice Statistics. Yes, easily, yes.
Oh, almost impossible.
And he brought a friend, and they riffed on me for 3 hours and 13 minutes. This is the most... I'm serious, by the way, and you can write this down, okay? I actually believe that atheism is unstoppable is mentally ill, and I won't be doing any content of him anymore in the future. I do actually believe that he is compromised. In the same way that I didn't do more videos with C-Space, the person who said that all women are shorter than all men, because I thought he was mentally ill, and I don't like exploiting these people for content, you know. So I'm not going to do with this fucking guy anymore. Apparently, this guy has like a history of an incredibly embarrassing behavior. Like he'll threaten people to debate them, or he'll posture like crazy. He tried to do a podcast once, but it failed because nobody could stand being with him for long periods of time. You know, so I think this guy is just like a really like long time lolcow, like just an incredibly embarrassing, like a Dark Side Phil type. So anyway, I'm just going to ignore this person from now on. I mean, if he like wanders into the Discord, I'll debate him or whatever. But didn't he dox a minor? I heard that he doxed a minor. Yeah, I heard that. I don't know for sure if that's the case. But I did hear that. But anyway, yeah, he's really far gone. But yeah, so I'm not going to be doing any more stuff on him because he's fucking crazy, and I get far more relevant than he is now. So I don't feel like I need to take him down. You know, is Vosh a communist? I mean, yeah, right. Classless, stateless society. When is the Democratic debate? The Democratic debate is 5 p.m. PST, and we will be going over it. But before we go over it, wouldn't it be nice if we went over some of the content we were expecting to do during this segment of time? I think that'd be pretty fucking sweet, actually. So with that in mind, it's time for Bernie Watch. Folks, I have some phenomenal news. Tremendous, bigly news. In fact, Bernie won Iowa. Bernie won Iowa. Bring it. Now, come on. No. Let's enjoy. Finally, as the dust settles, after all this bullshit gets run through, we finally see it unequivocally. He won Iowa. He came out 6,000 votes in the lead during first ballot, 2,500 votes in the lead during second ballot. He is presently, if I recall correctly, tied for appointed delegates, and Pete leads him slightly on, what's the other term? Special delegates? Substitute delegates? I forget the term. Caucuses are so complicated. But it seems that right now there are a number of irregularities that the Sanders campaign has corroborated with polling agencies that, once resolved, will put him in the lead with the state delegate equivalents as well. Yes, the SDEs. Thank you, the state delegate equivalents. Oh, he's 1312 now? Is he 1312 now? Is he actually ahead on the actual delegates? He's 1312 now? Oh, see, I get it, 1312. Oh, Pete has 13. Pete has 13. Okay, I see. Not tied anymore then. My apologies for that. Here, hold on. Iowa caucus delegates. But there's one more delegate left. The process that we find that we have been navigating throughout all of this has been unbelievably complicated. I'm going to try and summarize this as quickly as I can. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. The intricacies of the caucus system are so unbelievably asinine and what's the name of that one author? What's the name of the one author? Come on, he writes books that are supposed to satirize the intricacies of bureaucracy. Kafkaesque. Thank you. Yes. So I'm going to speak in this super quickly, okay? The basic gist of what happened is, so in caucuses, you have a bunch of different caucus sites all over the fucking state, as long with satellite ones that are outside of the state as well. And you go there and people, you know, make a choice for who they want to support. And then if you get less than 15% of the total number of people there for a given candidate, those people are annulled and they have to go and find another candidate to support. And there are state delegate equivalents. And sometimes those get piled up and you have to do a coin flip. And sometimes the coin flip keeps coincidentally landing on Pete and sometimes it doesn't. And then you have the major state delegates and just whew. What an unbelievable fucking mess. At the end, as the smoke has settled, and so much has happened, what seems to have happened, and this is my take, and this is just my opinion, okay? This is just my personal heart opinion, you know, right here, okay? This is what I've got going on in my chest. Here's my opinion. Bernie did well in Iowa. Buttigieg did well in Iowa too, undeniably. He outperformed, he exceeded expectations. I don't think there's any denying that. Both of them did very well. The app that was meant to count the votes failed, obviously. Little, you know, shadow app, little weird there, you know, created by people who were fans of Pete and people who used to work for the Sanders campaign. What are you going to do? App failed, you know, system fails. Everyone's trying to scramble, collect votes, try to figure out what went on. Oh, look at that. Turns out, hey, there are a bunch of irregularities. Actually, an astonishing number of irregularities. So many irregularities, in fact, in the difference between the state DNC's postings of the results and the actual caucus leaders' postings of the results, that, did I say Sanders campaign? I meant Clinton campaign. My apologies, folks. Clinton campaign, not former. You really think that people who worked for the 2016 Sanders campaign would ever be put in a position of relevance over anything DNC related? Ha! Fill in the blanks. I love you guys. Clinton campaign. Whatever the case may be. A startling number of irregularities between what was posted by the caucus and what was posted by the state DNC, to the point where people on Twitter were pointing out that there were literally like hundreds or thousands of votes being shuffled around between candidates. One place, for example, where Sanders had, I'm spitballing here, because this happened more than once, you know, 2,000 votes for Sanders and 1,000 votes for Buttigieg. Then, you know, you blink and the reported numbers are 1,400 votes for Buttigieg, for Sanders, 1,000 for Buttigieg, and 600 for Steyer, for example. There have been a shocking number of irregularities, and to be perfectly honest, many of these irregularities were to be expected. The caucus system has always been incredibly asinine and complicated and outdated. It's entirely possible that all caucuses up until this point have been this sketchy, and we just didn't know because we didn't have this level of transparency, because we didn't have people on the ground with their own backup app, with their own fucking smartphones, taking pictures of everything, making sure that all the coin flicks looked legit, making sure that all the data being posted was accurate relative to all the so on and so forth, you know. We move on and we move on, and eventually, you know, the DNC actually starts posting some of the data, because originally, you know, the app failed. We get up to 62% of the total number of votes counted in the state being posted, and things look like a win for Buttigieg. A fairly decent win for Buttigieg as well. And Buttigieg declares victory, even though all the votes haven't been counted. You know, the media jerks off his victory. Oh, Buttigieg, surprising, you know, victory, what have you. But his victory is tainted by the fact that the Iowa caucus isn't over. The votes haven't actually been fully counted yet. And we keep moving through, and as we count more and more and more of the votes, and as more and more and more of the irregularities are accounted for, Sanders gets closer and closer and closer and closer until, you know, we're at the current position we're at. We're now what was his name? The person, the DNC primary official who wants to actually do a re-caucus of the Tom Perez. Yeah. Tom Perez, an unfathomably historic decision. A recanvass of the vote, a recounting, going all the way back to the base data and running it through all the way again. He wants to do this 3-4 days after the fucking Iowa caucus. There was a fantastic tweet that I saw, a fantastic tweet. It was something along the lines of, fuck, what was it? It was, Bernie has a great shot in New Hampshire, and if he leads strong, the momentum might be able to carry him through to win the Iowa caucus. What a nightmare. What an absolute shit show. If there was any good to be taken from this horror show, it's that we might never have an Iowa caucus again. And thank God for that. Thank God for that. Now again, I want to be really, really clear about this. The specifics of the caucus politics are actually more complicated than I understand. And if I speak extensively on it, I am going to embarrass myself. Because it is very complicated. I've seen people go into all the details. It's not incomprehensible, though they're definitely trying with how they design the system. It's just long and complicated and boring, and I don't take notes, you know? But there are some big pointers that I want to come away from with this, okay? Now, the Bernie Sanders campaign has declared victory. We can take a look at that right now. Senator Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign on Thursday celebrated winning the popular vote in the first and second round of the Iowa caucus and released publicly, this is king shit, by the way. This is big dick shit. Released publicly discrepancies in the state delegate equivalent data it submitted to the Iowa Democratic Party. See, it's a little weird there that Bernie Sanders won the popular vote in the first and second rounds and somehow has less state delegate equivalents and fewer actual state delegates. It's a little weird there, kind of a little funny. The number is always sort of shifting away from the interests of the non-establishment candidate. Tonight's release of data by the Iowa Democratic Party confirms Senator Bernie Sanders won the Iowa caucus, his advisor Jeff Weaver said. We also feel confident that the discrepancies we're providing tonight, in addition to those widely identified in the national media, means that the SDE count will never be known with any kind of certainty. This is an unacceptable level of incompetence, just so you guys know. The idea that a caucus can take place, and there is so much contention over the actual results that it may never be known who really won or what the actual outcome was. This is unfathomable. This is unbelievable to me. The Democratic Party threw themselves on a sword and made the entire party look incompetent. Now, Sanders is saying, or I should say Sanders' campaign is saying, that they won because A, they got the popular vote, which is true, and B, once you account for certain discrepancies that have been identified in the process, he will win with delegates as well. And I consider that a victory. I consider that a complete victory, you know, and I'm happy about it. But to be a little more suspect here, I just want to say this completely frankly. We are going to get rat fucked in every single state in this fucking primary. This is step one, okay? This is step one. What did they do in Iowa? We had an app failure. We had a legendary collection of inconsistencies and discrepancies in vote reporting that were only addressed because they fucking went viral on Twitter. The only reason any of this shit was pointed out was because we have insanely... Anytime people tell you, ooh, conspiratorial Bernie bro, you're just like the fucking pizza gators. Nah, fuck you. If it weren't for people like me and people like them, us crazy Bernie bros, none of these discrepancies would have been caught. None of them. Crazy Bernie gets his own app to record separately the vote counts for each of the constituencies. Oh, turns out that data is super useful because the DNC fucking shit the bed. And coincidentally, a way that benefited Pete Buttigieg. Interesting. Crazy Bernie Sanders supporters going over all the numbers saying the DNC is rigging the... Oh! Hundreds of inconsistencies that statistically favor one candidate over another. And you believe you me, the favored candidate was not Sanders. Interesting. It's almost as though a conspiratorial, not a mindset necessarily, but a willingness to recognize that the powers that be are willing to fuck you over for, hey, contention over the most powerful, a seat in the planet, actually helps you recognize when you're getting fucked. This is something that people understand in every other instance. Even fucking woke shit libs recognize this. When we see historic numbers of young black men being incarcerated for, I don't fucking know, smoking weed or whatever, we recognize, even libs will recognize, even Warren supporters will recognize, hey, you know, maybe there's something funky going on here. It's been proven that there are discrepancies in justice and sentencing for people, you know, based on their race. It's been proven that there are biases against people of color in the justice system. We should be credulous of data that comes out of this process, not ignore it completely, but recognize that there are reasons why initial data postings might be biased against certain people. And then we say, hey, you know, Bernie Sanders too. And they're like, damn, man, crazy Bernie bros, conspiracy bros at it again. You're basically just like Alex Jones, my man. This is a lizard people conspiracy. What? You're telling me that after doing it in 2016, the DNC, which is largely run by Clinton loyalists and Clinton herself, who hates Bernie Sanders, would then, you know, organize in a way to sort of bias the results against one of the most radical candidates that's ever been put forward and a legitimate chance to win the presidency through the DNC? You really think that would happen? You think they would just do that? They would, you know, put their thumb on the scale, which they're completely legally allowed to do, to ensure that the candidate that they want becomes the most powerful person on the planet? You really think they would do that? Well, yeah, of course they would do that. Who the fuck wouldn't do that? Of course, the DNC is a private entity. It has a legal right to bias the results of its primary. This was settled in a court case after the 2016 election. They have a legal right to do that. And so of course they're going to fucking do that. The only reason they wouldn't do that is if they thought that the people responsible for it would be arrested. But they're not going to be, because it's a private organ. They can put forward any candidate they want. If the DNC wanted to, they could literally just throw their arms up and say, we will be putting Buttigieg forward as the candidate. We will be putting Biden forward as the candidate. They can literally do that. That's not illegal. Did you guys know that? Did you know that? They can do that. They could do it. They could just rewrite the rules. They could just be like, hey guys, we're actually not having a primary system, you know? If you want, you can vote for Warren or Bernie as an independent, but, you know, we, the Democratic Party, will just be putting forward Biden. And that would be a horrible decision for a wide variety of reasons. It'd be political suicide. They would never do it. But they can do it. They could do that if they wanted to, you know? That's totally within their legal right. Now, the reason I'm saying this isn't just so we can have a little victory lap. And I think we've earned a victory lap, by the way, because in spite of all of this fuckery, Bernie did really, really well in Iowa. And hey, guys, have you checked Have you checked the betting odds lately? Guys. Man, oh man, guys. You want the opposite of a black pill today? Is that what you're looking for? Do you want a little bit of optimism in your cup as a treat? These are the betting odds for the primary candidate for the Democratic Party. The real victory, the true victory from the Iowa caucus is what happened to Biden. Biden fucking died. Biden is now dead. He is dead now. He is gone. Biden is dead now. He's dead in real life. It's very unfortunate. So sad. Corn popping in heaven. You know? He's dead. Look at that drop. That is insane. That is in-fucking-sane. Bernie Sanders is now far and away the top of the line. You can look. This isn't just RCP, by the way. 538, you know, big data boys over here feel similarly. Our forecast now gives Sanders about a 1 in 2 chance of winning a majority of pledged delegates. That would mean first round of votes. That would mean before the superdelegates even get involved, Bernie Sanders wins the presidency. Without even superdelegates being involved. The second likeliest outcome, a 1 in 4 chance, is that no candidate wins a majority. After that, the next strongest candidate is Joe Biden. And then all the other candidates sort of trickle down way behind that. We should be happy about these results. We should be happy about these results. Because while Iowa was a shit show, up until Iowa, the real competition was between Biden and Bernie. And maybe we'd get like dark horse with Bloomberg, and Warren and Buttigieg will pull votes away from both groups until they eventually bend the knee and join the primary candidates. But it seemed like it was between Bernie and Biden. And now, Biden is dead. Meaning that, as large candidates go, Bernie Sanders currently stands in the lead by a hefty margin. Rest in peace, Biden. Now, before I wrap this up, and again, there are going to be people who are talking about the Iowa caucus for decades. This is a historic event that we've watched play out live. It's interesting watching history play out in front of you because you can imagine, you know, how is this going to be spoken of in the future? I can imagine, at least. I can imagine the history books that talk about the legendary incompetence of the 2020 Iowa caucus and how it led to a restructuring of the broader system. I can imagine that very, very easily. Hopefully, we never see an Iowa caucus again. It is a horrible system, horrible fucking system, incredibly undemocratic. But there is another, you know, little bit of fun we can enjoy here. A little black pill to tune things off. Here, folks, watch a video with me, will you? Are you ready? We will be watching somebody literally filming their TV for this. It's great, you know, great way to avoid copyright.
Very strong victory they gave us at the Iowa caucuses on Monday night. Some 6,000 more Iowans came out on caucus night to support our candidacy than the candidacy of anyone else. And when 6,000 more people come out for you in an election than your nearest opponent, we here in northern New England call that a victory.
Of course, there's a beautiful parallel here from that famous Pete Buttigieg quote. You know, what was it? Where I come from, getting more votes in an election means you win the election. And he was saying this in reference to the 2016 general. Just funny.
I can't find that. Who called it? It's not on my... Didn't he tie with Mayor Pete, like the 37-year-old not even anymore mayor?
Well, and you know what's sad? Not to tar him with the same brush, but I mean, that he's disingenuous, to say the least. He's not telling the truth. I mean, part of the problem with Iowa was, and everything we've learned about elections since 2000 is, what do you want to do? Simplify, simplify, simplify. What did Iowa do in the caucuses? They made it more complex. They had 3 different metrics. So what Bernie is doing is counting that first metric of people who came in that night willing to support Bernie, but many of whom switched to Mayor Pete. Mayor Pete, my heart goes out to him because having covered many Iowa caucuses and looked for that headline at 11 o'clock or midnight, he would have gotten these incredible headlines, the same headlines that Barack Obama had in 2008.
These snaky rats, these absolute pieces of shit, let Buttigieg run with a victory narrative for 3 days on an uncounted caucus with known discrepancies. And now, then more info is coming in that Sanders and Sanders' campaign has posted evidence that not only, well, this isn't their numbers, everyone agrees, not only did they get the vast majority of votes, or they got, far in the lead, it was by no means close in that regard. Not only that, but after discrepancies are accounted for, that they get more SDEs. And now MSNBC steps in to say, well, hey, Bernie, you're being disingenuous. Don't you think it's a little bit mean to Buttigieg that you're not giving him the clean victory narrative from the 62% results that he already enjoyed for 3 days and is completely invalid given new data that has come in? MSDNC, folks. This truly is fucking disgusting. I understand if you're going for like full-fledged consistency, if you want to be 100% completely consistent and accurate with no discrepancies, then you would say nobody declares victory until all the votes and discrepancies are settled in Iowa. But they didn't fucking do that in MSNBC, did they? No. We run with pro-Pete. Oh, Pete did so great. Pete wins Iowa, folks! Pete, declares his victory. Let's go with that. Let's make it look great. And then more data comes out. Whoops. Ooh, oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It looks like Bernie did better than you thought. Oh, no. And now when Bernie, with better data, declares victory by a better margin than Pete did back with the 62% period, MSNBC, damn, man, Bernie's really going to do that? Just steal the narrative back from Pete? No. And this is why, and this is the most important thing that we're going to leave on, okay? This is far more important than anything else, infinitely more important than anything else I've said today. Don't get complacent. Do not get complacent. Pete got a large bump in New Hampshire off of the rat fuckery that took place in Iowa. Do not stop donating. Do not stop canvassing. Everything that I have said about calling, about phone banking, about text banking, about doing IRL canvassing applies double time to New Hampshire, triple time to Nevada, okay? Quadruple time to South Carolina, all right? Texas, California, New York. Imagine we're 100 points down, okay? Imagine that Bernie is pulling in the negative percentiles somehow, okay? There are people outside of the country who are also saying that they don't want Bernie Sanders to be president. Do not stop, okay? Because this is the best chance that the country has ever had. This, seriously, you can look in American history, presidential candidates, the radicals usually, what do we get? 6, 7, 8%. We get some promising independents. This is a front runner, because that's what Bernie is right now, the front runner candidate in the Democratic election. And he is a socialist. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking, because we got a lot of orthodox Marxists here. Oh, he's not really a socialist. No, the policies he advocates for are democratic, social democracy, not democratic socialism. However, I, in my heart of hearts, do believe that Bernie Sanders is a socialist. If you look through his history, it seems pretty unmistakable, his general ideological alignments. And while he cannot bring about socialism himself, he can move us in that direction, unquestionably. Wants to bolster union membership. He wants collective partial ownership of firms by the workers. I mean, this is literally like he's trying to edge. He's literally doing just the tip with socialism to America. America, okay, hot broad, laying down on the bed, huge titties, okay, massive boobies, giant, just enormous gahonkas, okay? And the pussy is right in front of Bernie, you know, and she's like, I'm not on birth control, Bernie. I don't know if we should have sex. And Bernie's infertile because Bernie's like 100 years old. But Bernie says, hey, baby, it's okay. I get it. Just a tip. And by tipping, by tipping Milady, you know, he does... this is rape. It's not rape if she says yet. Fuck you. All right, you ruined the analogy. Fuck. Anyway, just the tip. He's socialism. Just okay. Listen, just go. Just go. Just the tip. Tipping. All right, there we go. How much of a tip does he leave her? I mean, Bernie has an enormous penis, so I assume that it would be a large tip. Yeah, everyone, weird champ chat. Okay, chat ruined it. If any of you people didn't do just the tip when you were 13 years old. You're all this is classic. Because the reason that you do just the tip, both of you want to fuck. You're just trying to mitigate your own teenage hormones. That's why the just the tip thing happens. Virgin shaming? Fuck you. I'm pretty sure my chat is all virgins. I'm a virgin, you insensitive ass. Holy shit! We are so off topic right now. Listen, all of you are virgins, okay? Everyone here is a virgin except for me and my girlfriend, who I know is in chat, okay? See, look, according to this, every single one of you round up. Yeah, exactly. How can any of you be virgins after the DNC has fucked all of us so hard? This is a lie, by the way. There's no fucking way 55% of you are virgins. That can't possibly be true. All of you just said yes because you're trying to play to the narrative. Fuck all of you guys. Can we focus on the goddamn point? Listen, the goddamn point is, don't give up. Bernie Sanders can be our presidential candidate in the general election, where he stands a fantastic chance of going up against and beating Donald Trump. Vosh, isn't just the tip kind of rapey? No, if they both want the tip. The point is that the just the tip thing is when there's a mutual hesitance to have sex, but then the person with the penis is like, well, what if I just put the tip in? And the person who's gonna get fucked wants to be fucked, but they're doing a compromise because they're trying to like it's like they're like, oh, I'm embarrassed to have sex, but okay, it's just the tip thing. All right, okay. How long does it take before your virginity grows back? Depends on how much time you spend at v.gg. If you spend more time, it grows back much, much faster. You made a map compiling average 538 projections of the primaries. Chance of a brokered convention is massive, but so is Bernie's lead. Hey, nice. What are we looking at here? Is Sanders really? What is this, math? How does this work? I think this is math. I don't know how to do Here, we'll make this blue too. There we go. There we go. We fixed it. We fixed it. Bernie wins. Bernie wins, boys. Every state, Jeb. Bernie wins. It's a landslide. He took it across the board. There was never even a chance for the other guys. All right. This turned into nonsense very quickly. Let me go over donations, and then, folks, this is something that I've been meaning to talk about for a while. I'm going to get all my thoughts out on the subject. This is very important to me, and it should be important to you because recently this hit in the bread tube sphere a little bit. So you know it's relevant. I want to talk about Bernie or bust versus vote blue no matter who. I think this is something there's a lot of contention on this subject. It's very important that we talk about this. Nah, you know, I don't like eating during stream. A lot of contention. Run a poll for that? Yeah, run a poll for that, actually. I'm curious to see. Let me go over donos for a second, okay? How's the chatter with the tier 1 sub? Thank you very much, comrade. And fuck AJ with the tier 2 sub. Very much appreciated. Amazing spam in chat, please. You heard him, chat. Go for it. Paul Resendez, the $5, is questioning the inconsistencies in media coverage on the Iowa caucus. Make us Bernie Simps. No, it makes them fucking hack partisans. Lexify with the $1. You started literally to the second as the episode of The Witcher I was watching ended. 10 out of 10 timing. I am here to entertain you. Lexify. John Garrison with the incredibly generous $10. Thank you. Pete is in a virtual tie for New Hampshire in a new poll. If he wins New Hampshire, the narrative will be that he won Iowa and New Hampshire and historically will get the nomination. Don't underestimate him. It's time to buckle down. I agree completely. Yeah, Pete Buttigieg is a legitimate threat to us, not to Donald Trump, but to us. And I think that he should be treated very, very seriously. Sake Tanuki with the $5. Iowa caucus math errors. Yeah. There are a startling number of errors in the math of the Iowa caucus. But going over the details would involve going over math, and I know how many of you are gay. And I know gay people aren't capable of doing math. Lizzie with the tier 1 sub. Thank you. Vosh, I rarely catch your streams live, but watch all your political VODs and once in a while the game. I think you do great work, so I may as well sub. Thank you, comrade. Very much appreciated. Happy to provide you content you enjoy. Fuck AJ with the $5. Bernie bucks. True. And Historica Hungarica with the $1. Here is a more fitting jingle sample for the donos. Only listen to the 2 seconds. Uh-oh.
You want the truth? You can handle the truth. Show me the money.
Was that only out of the right earbud?
Handle the truth. Show me the money.
Okay. I only heard that out of fucking... Jesus. Fuck you. Sake with the $5. Everyone who unironically supports Israel is a compromised beta. Mentioning human rights of Palestinians is bare minimum of acceptability. Israel should not exist. Yeah, 100% agreed. There is nuance to the Israel situation, but anyone who unironically describes themselves as a Zionist should fucking like eat a cake shaped like a bullet. Bosh, you skipped Sanderhall's dono? No, I didn't. What the fuck? It's right here in front of me. Xanderhall with the tier 1 sub. The rebrand / name change is commenced. Pig Puncher is no more. There is only Xanderhall. Check our group DM and peep the new aesthetic. Post some images in there. Show the stream. Xanderholics rise up. Xan sweaty. I don't even have Discord open, you fucking hack. But yeah, Pig Puncher is called Xanderhall now. Here, I'm helping the transition. Yeah, there you go. You even got a little... We're going to have to change the emote name now because people are just going to be saying Xanderhall more often. Where's the group chat? Comrade Xander. Mr. X. What was the name of the big hat dude in Resident Evil 2? My Discord froze. That's never happened before. It doesn't want me to show off Zanny's new stuff. Wait, my Discord is actually freezing. What the fuck? This is cringe. Well, I'll get to that later. Sake Tanuki with the $5. Pete E. Caucus, where a cheat can be a cheat. Hey, listen, man. Don't... Bernie, bro, throwing around those narratives. People are going to accuse you of being conspiratorial. Be careful. Rory Island with a tier 1 sub. Was getting sad about my white name. Excited for the Cerny Banders presidency. Don't get too excited unless you're willing to put in the work, comrade. Here we go. Finally. I don't know why Discord is being so cringe. He's got a new logo. It's like Naruto. I like it. I've been watching a lot of Naruto lately. I actually think it's a really cool logo. Y'all been watching Naruto lately? The shuriken are what they throw in between the 20-minute jutsu sequences. Yeah, it's a cool logo, I agree. Anyway, his name's Zanny now. Did you watch Boruto? No, I'm watching Naruto. Wouldn't Boruto be spoilers? What part are you in? They just met the big booby lady. They just met the big booby lady. What's her name? The big booby medic? Tsunade. Yeah, Tsunade. And she has large milkers. Comrade Courtney with a gifted tier 1 sub. Thank you. Wow, I'm so glad I'm actually politically involved in this election. I never understood how fucked up and undemocratic the caucuses are. They're more democratic when Sanders isn't a part of them. And Spau with the $5. Apparently Bernie wins in SDEs after accounting for 14 inconsistencies, though it's not official as they are recanvassing. They're actually going through with the recanvassing. God, what a fucking mess. But yeah, Spau, I went over that. I even went over that link. I love you. Too Cute Riley with the $5. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you, I will. Thank you. And Varric Song with the $5. I'm going to miss tonight's live stream, but I don't want to miss the content. Does this let us see the VOD? Maybe? I don't know how this works. How recent is this? No, this is from February 3rd, 2019. DLive keeps past broadcasts. I'm not a partner, so for 7 days you should be able to find a VOD of my old streams. I don't know why people can't. Maybe you all are just bad at navigating UIs. Also, DLive is a shit site. Whatever, I'll probably be editing the coverage anyway. And Too Cute Riley with the incredibly generous tier 2 sub. Thank you, comrade. Very much appreciated. Enjoy the dark orange name. Sake Tanuki with the $5. Courtesy of Elza Rechtman, I created a plot to visualize the SDE errors. It doesn't look random to me. You've linked me to a not found Gyazo page, but I do believe that I looked at that link elsewhere, comrade. But I appreciate the sentiment. Yeah, here we are. Cringe! All the errors in favor and all the errors against. Uh-oh. Just random error, guys. Just random errors. Yeah. Biden got cheated. Da feels. Da feels. That's what I mean when I say that it's more democratic when Bernie Sanders isn't participating. Of course, when they have a reason to bias the results, it's always going to be a little bit more skewed. Phoenix, free 3 with the $5. Vosh, I appreciate your work, and I wanted to point out the IDP mathematical miscalculations with the IDP and thought you may find it interesting. There sure are a lot of fucking math people. Oh yeah, this is math, my friend. What do you said, these are numbers. I can't look at these. I'm not looking at these. These are numbers. What am I, a Yang supporter? What am I, a fucking nerd? Disgusting. Absolutely not. But I appreciate the sentiment. You know. Maybe I can take a look at that later. Sai with the $1. Thank you. And Historica Hungarica with the $1. Bernie explaining how he won in Iowa. We're not doing fucking YouTube links anymore. We'll have to go over that later, comrade. Use the sound only because otherwise you might get DMCA'd. I'm not. I'm staying on task, comrade. Sake Tanuki with the $5. They will do that. Tom Perez is all ready to take the fall and get his payout from the same people who run the party and give him his orders. Even if he's removed from the DNC, it forces another election. Yeah, I prefer to think of the broader conspiratorial force levied against Bernie Sanders as a collection of smaller biases that sort of collectively that sort of collectively, you know, work to the disinterest of Bernie Sanders supporters, rather than like people actually taking orders. Can you please link that error chart so I can prove this shit to my dad? Somebody relink the error chart, the one that shows that it's skewed against Bernie Sanders and in favor of Buttigieg. Hammer time with $1. We need a fucking guillotine emote, comrades. The knife and the re are just not cutting it anymore. We are against political violence in this chat. Thank you very much, comrade. Horse me with the incredibly kind $7. Thank you. The rat has played his little trick, the shadow. He can only play it once. We're too far from majority. The media will lose hundreds of delegates. Thousands. Come with me and take the nation. Is this a quote from something? It's in quotation marks. I have no idea, comrade. But true. But not true, actually. The DNC will always have ammunition that they can use against Bernie Sanders and his supporters. Always, always, always. Comrade Sophia with the incredibly generous Tier 3 sub. Thank you very much, comrade. What's up, liberal? When is the mod stream? One day, comrade. But you're not buying it with fucking subs. Enjoy your fancy-pantsy fucking name color. One day. We'll play Minecraft together. And Sake Tanuki with the $5. All of us are virgins. There may be some rounding errors in the virgin value equivalent calculations. Yeah. Kaz with the €2. Why is your chat brain dead? I feel like the electoral season ruins everybody's brain. I feel like I know it's ruining my brain. I know I am markedly less intelligent now than I was the last time I did a stream. Every day that passes after Iowa will sap more IQ from me. It puddles out and just sort of drips out from my ears. There are still an obscene number of donations. I'm going to go over a few more of them, and then I'm going to move to the next segment, because I want to move to the next segment, because I want to talk about this. Scribe with $5. How can I be a virgin if capitalism fucks me every day? Takara Official with the $5. Just a tip, baby. Thank you. Notice how consensual that was. When I received just the $5 tip, notice how absolutely not rape that was. I have to use more unambiguous like references in the future, because I guess to some people I can understand how the just the tip meme might come off as like a non-consent thing. But it just reminds me how many of you, how many of my beautiful friends in chat have not themselves tipped a fine milady. Truly sad. But I will help all of you. I will help all of you with this time. Sake Tanuki, thank you very much for the $5. Xander Hall is discount Vosh confirmed. All YouTube content creators are discount Voshes. Really, all of YouTube was just an experiment to eventually bring about me. We all know this to be true. Frosty T.O. with the $5. Did you hear about Bernie Madoff begging to be let out of prison because he has a terminal kidney disease? Pepe laugh. Actually, I didn't hear that. Really, Bernie Madoff begging to be let out of prison because he has a terminal kidney disease. Ooh. Something tells me that if a regular old poor black person asked for the same privilege, they wouldn't be afforded. I don't see why this person deserves anything more. Gonna have to stamp a no on that request right there. Sorry, Bernie, you were the wrong Bernie. Per Mousen, the $5. Just realized how we cannot be a purported realities that cannot verify through direct personal observation, current theory, history, events. Yeah, I mean, history is just collectively agreed upon narratives, really. There's no way to actually know what's going on outside your own independent observation, which is why it's important to create systems that you believe will accurately reflect what actually took place. AKA not the DNC. I forgot my password of the Tier 1 sub. Thank you. Hey, Vosh, thanks for making great content. I do it for you. And Big Dick Wilson with the $5, watching this stream in class, and so far my professor hasn't noticed anything. We're talking about how liberal arts degrees are still important. You should. Liberal arts degrees are still important and always will be important, comrade. Always, always. Yinkskers with the $5. Hi, Vosh. I read that Bernie plans on banning nuclear energy. I still plan on voting for him, but it still seems kind of cringe to me. What do you think? Also, my name is pronounced Yonkers, by the way. I will keep that in mind. Yeah, I'm very much in favor of nuclear energy. There are some things I disagree with Bernie on strongly. That is definitely one of them. I am a big fan of nuclear energy. Maybe you use the tip differently, but the tip meme was a way to get women not sure if they wanted to have sex. Maybe not rape, but definitely manipulative. Dairy Cypher, I have just... Derry, I have never heard it used in that context. Every time I've heard the just the tip meme or done the just the tip meme, it's when there's mutual apprehension about having sex or like a birth control thing. Like they both want to fuck. And he's like, no, don't worry, I won't come. I'll just put the tip in. I don't know if that's manipulative. Like, is it manipulative for the girl to be like, hey, we shouldn't fuck, I'm not on BC. And the guy will be like, oh, I'll just put the tip in, don't worry. And he puts the tip in and the bitch loves getting stretched out, so then they end up fucking. Is that, I mean, is it manipulative to like ask twice? I don't know. I feel like that's within the bound of acceptable behavior personally. But I can understand how sometimes that could be used manipulatively. It really depends on the way in which it's done. I guess I'm guess that I've just lived a blessed life free of rape and sexual assault and exploitation, and for that reason, I just assume, you know, the positive narrative. The tip is stored in the balls. That's true. Yeah, it depends on the context. It depends on the context. But of course, everything depends on the context. Like, hey guys, does this sound rapey to you? Hello, would you be interested in having sex with me? Only if that's something you're comfortable with. No, I don't think so. What if there was a gun to her head? What if there was a gun to her head? You don't even know. Hey, would you like to have sex sometime? You know, only if you want to. Yeah. Damn, you just said you're okay with rape, basically. Not to woke scold on Maine, but why do you call women bitches? I love you. Because disaffected toxic masculinity, especially when it's done with a veneer of irony, is usually useful in getting people to listen to my positions if they would otherwise dismiss them. Feminism is just like a death bullet for being able to persuade people of right-leaning predilections. Saying like bitches irreverently, I don't think it meaningfully contributes to like sexism. I don't think that anyone in my community or anyone who's actually like listening to me is sexist. But I do believe that people who don't like me will listen to me say like, hey, I'm a feminist. Hey, these bitches, you know? I mean, I get these broads, they're kind of dumb, but I like them, you know? And they hear that, they think like, okay, this guy can take a joke, you know? He's not uptight, you know? He's not like, he doesn't have a stick up his ass. You know what I mean? Yeah, these broads, you know? They're perfect broad. Yeah, that kind of stuff, you know? You do tend to call women specifically cunts? Yeah, I know. I'm aware of that, yeah. There's a fine line, or there's a very, very fuzzy line between actual sexism and, like, ironic sexism that actually ends up being beneficial because it convinces people to take you seriously. And it's difficult to parse out what falls on which side of the fence at any given point. Generally speaking, I think I'm a force for good, you know. Do you honestly believe nobody in your community is sexist? Of course, not nobody. But I don't think my community is sexist. I don't think my community enables sexism, you know. Obviously, just by way of coalition building, it's almost guaranteed there are people in my community who are racist or sexist or what have you. But I don't think they got that way because of me. Here, a few more donos and then we're going to move on. How can we be sexist if we're all virgins? That's true. Virgins known for never being sexist. Herdcore Val with the $5. The DNC will suppress the POC votes like they did in Iowa for the rat to win. Call it here. We'll see what happens in the South. If Biden's not viable in the South, then those votes are probably going to go to Bernie. Bernie has huge POC support. Drunken E-Dubs with the $1. Pro-Mayor torrents available since yesterday, if I recall correctly. Good movie. Go watch it, Vosh. Trans rights. I was the first American to see Pro-Mayor. I saw Pro-Mayor at the first live screening of it at Anime Expo. In 2019, I am the first human being to have ever... I made Pro-Mayor. Do not talk to me. Great movie, by the way. Go see it, folks. Go see it. Trans rights. Trans rights, folks. Trans rights. And Teddy K with the $5. I don't know if you've mentioned this, but there's GoFundMe pages for Bernie canvassers that people outside the U.S. can donate to. Yeah, you can't donate to Bernie. You can donate to Bernie canvassers if you're non-American. And even if you're non-American, you can still phone bank. Italia Reigns with the $5. I was speaking with one of my normie friends and the topic of Liberty Hangout came up. When they seen Caitlyn Bennett, they were surprised the poop girl was into politics. Dude, people who shit themselves are all over conservative, political advocacy. That's like their natural It's like their natural habitat. Icon Behemoth with the $5 was tax dollars used to bail out Wall Street in 2008. Yes, it was loaned to Wall Street. Wall Street has paid back with interest most of the money that was loaned to them since 2008, if I recall correctly. It's either most of or all. It's something like that. Political Atheist 69 with $5. I have more notches on my bedpost than an illegal logging company on an Amazon tree. Hey, as long as it's all consensual, my dude. As long as you never played just the tip, okay? You can play just the tip as well. It can be like nothing. Never mind. Whatever. Okay, if chat wants to assign negative value to it, then I'm not going to fight that. Hey, Daniel Webster with the incredibly generous 250 rubles. Thank you. Loving the stream. How do you think things would play out if Bernie lost the election to Trump? But I am confident that won't happen. P.S. I donate in rubles because I'm a Britbonger living in Moscow. Oh no, I love having my little, countries of the world currency lined up. If Bernie lost to Trump, just speaking frankly, it would be devastating for the left-leaning movement in this country. It would be unfathomably destructive to us if Bernie Sanders lost to Donald Trump. There's no denying that. We would have to massively restructure. It would put us back a very long time. There are going to be people who are like, well, Bernie would never lose to Trump. But the fact that that's their response indicates that they also can't fathom what the move forward would be if Bernie lost to Trump, you know? Yeah, see, there are people in chat who'd be like, see, it's not going to happen. But that's the thing, like, you know? The fact that that's their answer indicates how bad that would be. And Axis Audio with the $25. Thank you. Wait, guys. This is a $25 donation. Did the toss a coin to your streamer thing play? I got a new version of it. A new version that's a little longer and louder. Did it play or did it not play? It did play? It was longer? Okay, did you like it? Do a hypers if you liked it. No, it did? No, it didn't? Okay, well, if anybody says that it did, that means that it did. I can just turn the volume up a little bit. Here, I'll play it for you. All right, you crazy kids. I'll play it. Here, listen. Shut up. Stream assets, toss a coin.
Toss a coin to your streamer, oh viewers of plenty.
There we go. See, that time it played. You know. See? Look at that. Anyway, Axis Audio with the 25. Thank you. Destiny is debating Bernie bro conspiracy theorists who didn't think the results of the Iowa caucus was just incompetence. Love you, buddy. Oh, Destiny has fallen so fucking far, dude. I remember back in I'm pretty sure back in 2016 he agreed that Bernie Sanders got fucked by the DNC, by the fucking Clinton, establishment. Such a disappointment. He's doing the anti-SJW things where there's a really good point that he's ignoring because he can go after the extremists and make... So Destiny is currently doing the thing where anti-SJWs will say, I've got a feminist here on the line. And what they've got is like the craziest, most mentally ill, like 17-year-old Tumblrite feminist on the call, and and they'll say silly stuff, and then the anti-SJW would be like, ha, and that's what all feminism is like, guys. He's doing that essentially. Destiny is using the misbehavior of some people who are Bernie supporters to avoid acknowledging broader good points, I think. You know what? And let's talk about it. Thank you, by the way, Axis Audio. I really appreciate it. I mean, he's talking to people with 20K likes on Twitter. They aren't randoms. Yeah, sure. But who could... I mean, very few people can stand up for their positions in a debate with Destiny. That's the thing. No matter how legitimate the underlying points, if you're arguing with somebody who's much, much better at arguing than you are, you're probably going to end up looking silly. There are probably people who make good points out there that I could bring on stream and end up making look silly just because I'm capable of, like, talking around them, you know? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Bernie or bust. Or vote blue no matter who. This is something that... This is something that people have been talking about in my community for a while. I've expressed my opinions on this before, and I'm going to keep expressing them, but I might as well put this out there just as a definitive, I guess, YouTube, whatever. Here is what I want to talk about, okay? there are a lot of people in my community who fall on both sides of this. I want to sort of, we'll talk about like sort of the broader positions. The reason why I'm interested in talking about this is because recently, believe it or not, Sean and H Bomber Guy both recently took Bernie or bust positions, which is really funny to me, which by the way, and I'm a little salty on this one, it's just really funny to me that people like Sean will like sort of like dismiss me as like dirtbag lefties, or like we're problematic, you know, and then he'll advocate for an accelerationist position, which does invariably mean, you know, a position which disadvantages minority groups in the immediate period. So I just that I am a little salty about that because if I went Bernie or bust, then I feel like a lot of people would be like, oh, of course, you know, white guy, white boy, Vosh, totally out of touch with the needs of the racial minority constituency. Let's talk. What is Bernie or bust? Bernie or bust is the idea that if Bernie Sanders does not become the Democratic primary candidate, then you will either not vote or vote third party or vote for Trump. Most people who say Bernie or bust don't say they'll vote for Trump. They say instead they just won't vote or they'll vote third party. Okay, that's Bernie or bust. Either Bernie's the candidate or bust. Okay, either Bernie's the candidate or bust. All right. Vote blue no matter who is the opposite, you know. Once the primaries have settled down, no matter who the candidate is, if they're a Democrat, you vote for him. Anyone better than Trump. Anyone but Trump, right? And these are the two positions. I vote blue no matter who. That's my position. I'm going to explain why. Because there are a lot of people in chat right now who are Bernie or bust. And I want to talk about this. Do you all remember the YouTube walkout? You remember, this was a few months back, the YouTube walkout where they were like, hey, what if we took a dozen irrelevant left-leaning YouTubers and we showed YouTube our strength by depriving them of 1/billionth of a percentage point of their income for 3 days? Remember that? And the reason why it was silly was because left-leaning YouTubers and their fans do not constitute a large enough portion of YouTube's viewership and production base to threaten YouTube with anything. There's no point. See, the point of a union is to get together enough people that if they ever stop working, that firm fucking dies. If you unionize a business and 3% of the workforce is in the union, it's fucking worthless. If that 3% strikes, you just replace them. If everyone strikes, well, then they have to listen. And the logic of Bernie or bust is very similar. The logic of Bernie or bust is this, that the DNC, here's the part I agree with, is a disgusting, rat-fucking, piece of shit, hyper-biased organization that has taken great pains to avoid allowing truly radical candidates to take the stage, that they will bias the world against people like Bernie Sanders, that they will do everything in their power to keep the most banal, pro-corporate stooges in power as possible. I agree with that. And then the Bernie or bust sentiment continues to say, therefore, the only way to get them to change this process is to force them to start taking seriously, to recognize, to validate, and to nominate radical candidates. The only way to do this is to not vote if they put corporate candidates up. That's the logic, essentially. That we can blackmail or threaten or strong-arm the DNC with a large enough constituency of voters who will only vote for their chosen candidate and not in the general. There is a problem with this, and it's that the DNC doesn't care if they win. I've said this before. The DNC doesn't give a shit if they win. Why would they? The Republicans and the Democrats serve the same basic corporate masters. Outside candidates like Bernie Sanders, they're all pretty much pro-business. They all lead pretty much to the same positions, broadly speaking, on trade and policy and immigration. There are minor differences, of course. Do you really think the Democratic Party gives a single shit about posturing against the Republicans? Is that why Democrats seem to keep unanimously voting for all of the military spending, the fucking Patriot Act, and all the other shit that Republicans are able to get through the Democratic House? There's a reason for that, you know? And it's because the DNC, I mean, they really don't care about winning the presidency. Why would they care? Why would they care about winning the presidency? Winning the presidency is the worst thing in the world that can happen to a Democrat. Because then you have to do something. Democrats hate doing things. Democrats are the most... Now, it's different with the RNC. Republicans love doing things. The Democrats hate doing things. Democrats fucking love being able to sit there in a minority house or a minority senate bitching and doing little performative acts of resistance against a Republican. That's why they clap so hard when fucking Pelosi extends her hands 3 inches forward before clapping. Or when Pelosi pre-tears a little copy of the speech and then rips the speech up. Had to pre-tear to make sure her wiry old hands don't miss the mark and claw off the paper-thin skin that she has over her varicose veins. Why? That's why libs lose their shit over these little performative demonstrations, because they're more interested in those than they ever were in actually getting anything done. So the Bernie or bust logic doesn't really work there, because you can't threaten the DNC over throwing an election they don't care about winning. Now, to be fair to Bernie or bust types, there is a group of people who do care about losing. And it is the voters. The voters do care. You can threaten the voters. You can see a Warren supporter, you know, on Twitter, and the Warren supporter will say something like, you know, I'll never vote for Bernie. It's time. It's her time. We need labial flaps in the Oval Office chair. It's her time. Her time. Her time. You can see them. I don't know what they're doing. I assume that all non-Bernie supporters on Twitter are fucking lunatics. I assume they're all off like in a corner speaking in tongues. I don't know. More female drone pilots. And you can go up to them and you can say, hey, I know you want a woman to be president. That's great. That's cool. I know that's super fucking important to you, but, you know, if you don't vote for Bernie Sanders, I will throw this election. There will be more kids in cages. There will be more fucking bodies piling up in Syria. Yemen will remain an abject hellhole. And it will be your fault because I am voting for one candidate. And you will make sure that candidate becomes the primary nominee, or we will all die together. And this is the one instance in which there is an argument for the Bernie or bust mentality. When you are threatening voters. Oh, what I'm saying right now, that is what Bernie or bust is, you know. A Trump presidency is far, far worse than a Biden presidency. In the immediate sense, at least. Bullying voters can be a way to bring them over. Now, it's bad optics. It's very, very bad optics because it makes it look like Bernie supporters are throwing a tantrum, that we care more about getting our preferred candidate than we do about the well-being of the country. But there is a logic here. There is an overlying logic. And I'm going to be very sympathetic to the accelerationist position here, okay? Because that's what Bernie or bust is. It's accelerationist. I'm going to be very sympathetic to it for a moment. I'm going to say this. Systems replicate themselves. We had 8 years of Obama. Obama was not a very effective president. He was great at deporting people. He was great at bombing people. What did Obama get done in 8 years? What did Obama get done in 8 years? The Affordable Care Act. a Heritage Foundation healthcare plan. Oh, the Iran nuclear deal. I'm not going to speak ill of the Iran nuclear deal. The Iran nuclear deal was extremely good. I'll say a positive of that. So there we go. 8 years. Iran nuclear deal. Obamacare. Watered down Obamacare. Hey, Comrade Cora. And that's it. Gay marriage, that was the Supreme Court. 8 years. 8 years. And that's what Obama got done. And libs love him. Libs love him. You know why? Because he's handsome. Libs love him because he's handsome and he speaks well. And don't get me wrong, I respect, a well-spoken statesman. I think that, I will admit, I am getting a little bit tired of having a soup-brained cretin as a president. I will admit that is getting a little bit tiring. It was fun for a time. It is boring now. To see every single time I watch Trump speak, he would embarrass a middle schooler. That does get tiring. But Obama produced Trump. Obama produced a system that produced Trump. And the reason for that, and I've said this before, is that liberalism is dying. We are in a historic period because we are going to watch the most prosperous and the most sociopathically efficient political system in the history of humanity die. Liberalism can't function anymore. The antagonisms made evident through populist agitation are too strong to bear. It's not possible. Folks, we're not going back to a Clinton candidate. We're not. It's not happening. We're not going back to that era. There are too many angry people. And the anger is not getting supplanted this time. It was said back during the Watergate scandal. That what Nixon did shook America's faith in the presidency. For the first time in a real way. Who trusts the president now? Who trusts Congress? Who trusts the Senate? Nobody. Nobody trusts these systems. Nobody believes the system is working for people. The average person's life is a quiet desperation until you die. And for the first time in a long time, people are starting to recognize that that is not an inherent characteristic of life, but rather a deliberate and manufactured system which people have been profiting off of enormously. But the time is coming to an end. And as I have said before many times, at the end of liberalism, we see revolution. That's why populism is sweeping the country in both directions, left populism and right populism. That's why we see a resurgence of white nationalism and populism over in Europe too. Liberalism creates problems that it can't solve. So liberalism atomizes culture and alienates people from their communities. But it also brings in a fuck ton of immigrants who to the average person seem as though they're supplanting the domestic culture. Liberalism can't address this because liberalism does nothing to elevate or distinguish the culture in the domestic sphere. It just brings people in for economic purposes. It creates messes that could be fixed in a good system, but can't within ours. It creates economic inequality. Climate change, folks. Climate change is the absolute wall that is approaching us. There's no getting around that. You don't need theory to describe how climate change is bringing us to the end. A revolution is going to happen one way or another, folks. But the longer we stay locked in this hellscape of neoliberal drain circling, the more likely it is that when the time comes, things turn out worse. In essence, the longer we perpetuate this system, the worse outcomes we will derive from it. And for that reason, a second Trump presidency might end up being far less destructive than a Buttigieg presidency, because a Buttigieg presidency would cork the pressures for another 4 years until Trump will be dead in 4 years, probably. Until, well, we get another Trump. But what if the next Trump we got wasn't a Neanderthal more interested in raping little girls than he is in actually leading the country? What if the next president we get, Vosh, this is accelerationist rhetoric. I literally preempted this segment by saying I am going to explain the logic of Bernie or bust using accelerationist rhetoric. What if the next Trump we get isn't a 40 IQ dipshit, but rather a cold and calculating Stephen Miller type? Or a Putin type? What if we get a quieter fascist? What if we get someone a little more politically savvy? What if we get somebody a little more willing to manipulate the system rather than clashing with it like a dumb fuck and making a media circus of his presidency at every possible opportunity? Well, then we're fucked. Because America is ready for fascism. We're not ready for socialism, folks, but we are ready for fascism. Let me tell you, we are incredibly ready for fascism. Now, Trump is very good at riling the public up, but he himself is not intelligent enough to manipulate the system in such a way as to really meaningfully subvert democracy. The next person could be. The next person could be. And that is the fear. That is the threat to the world. You will vote in Bernie Sanders or you will vote in nobody, because I would rather suffer 4 more years of Trump than enable a system that will allow for someone worse than him to come along. Because after 4 more years of Trump, after the country continues being made worse and worse with time, maybe we'll be more ready for someone like Bernie. Probably not Bernie himself, but maybe another candidate in his vein. But we just get Buttigieg, we get Biden. Who comes after that? Who does the Republican Party send next? Because they're not going back to Mitt Romney. That is the logic of accelerationism. That is the logic of Bernie or bust. The idea that perpetuating liberalism is in fact more destructive in the long term because you are facilitating the maintenance of a system that allows inevitably for the rise of someone infinitely worse than Trump. That's their logic. And I don't agree with it. The reason I don't agree with it is because I do not believe that the voters in this country are savvy or prescient enough to be swayed by the bullying and arm twisting that the Bernie or bust rhetoric necessitates. I don't think Warren supporters or Buttigieg supporters are going to follow through on the logic that we have put forward to them. I don't think they're going to be swayed by bullying. I don't think they're going to be swayed by arm twisting. I don't think they are going to be receptive to the tactics Bernie or bust proponents use. And I think it's horrible optics for us to speak another way. I don't think it works. I don't think so. I think that even if we got in some Trump figure again, even if we got a Trump in 2020, they would go right back to supporting milquetoast liberals in 2024. I just don't think this logic works on them. I don't think they will appreciate the logic behind accelerationism. Mind you, if we could get enough people behind it, the accelerationist rhetoric would work. I just don't think we can. We are a small community. This Bernie or bust shit, this accelerationist shit, is believed by a very, very, very small portion of the broader Democratic electorate. Now, if every single Bernie supporter, or a large portion of them, were capable of acting in unison to strong-arm other voting blocs, maybe, yeah, maybe that would be possible. It would make us look horrible. The optics would be terrible. It would be seen as us attempting to subvert democracy, which it kind of would be, a little bit. And I don't think it would work. Unless we had enough people. And that's why I'm not Bernie or bust. I don't believe the general election or the primaries leading up to it are the right place for us to agitate. I don't think they're the right place for us, the left, to make our move against liberalism. Because the DNC doesn't care about losing, and the liberal voter base isn't politically savvy enough to respond appropriately to strong-arming if we threaten them with a null vote, as Bernie supporters. It's a prisoner's dilemma situation, kind of, or at least it's similar to one. But the issue is, liberals are stupid, so we can't trust them to act in their own best interest. And that's why I support Vote Blue no matter who. Because I believe the immediate harm reduction is more likely to move us in a place where left-leaning people, such as myself and such as you guys, are capable of moving people further towards the populist left. I don't think we can do it in the election. Guys, please, guys, get it. I get it. I get it. I'm edgy too. I'm edgy. I love being edgy. I would love to run out there and say, nah, fuck it all, dude. Whatever, man. We're voting for Bernie or bust. Trump 2020, Trump 2024. I don't even fucking care. You're getting a fucking socialist in office. You're not getting anyone, you stupid piece of shit. I would love to. I would love to be edgy and spiteful and vindictive, but I don't think it works. I think the optics are bad. I think it makes us look bad. I think it makes us look like bullies. I think it makes us look politically unsavvy. I think it makes us look undemocratic. I don't think that we're capable of swaying the DNC because the DNC don't care about voting. And the libs are too stupid to bully. The libs are too stupid to bully appropriately because they don't realize that it's in their own best interest to bend the knee to the Bernie coalition. I don't think this works for us. So that's it. That's why I believe in Vote Blue no matter who. If you can't sway the libs and you can't sway the DNC, then there's no point. You're not accomplishing anything. And to me, the kind of people who will, knowing you're not accomplishing anything, go on and not vote anyway are the same fucking Luddites who say that real anarchists don't vote, who say that to be a true leftist means to not participate in the electoral process. I want to be really clear about this. This is something that I've bantered about in my head for 8 years, okay? This isn't something I just came up with yesterday, all right? I have tallied with accelerationist tendencies before. There are some ways in which I am accelerationist. I do believe there are some ways in which accelerationist rhetoric and accelerationist tactics are effective. In this instance, in this specific instance of Bernie or bust accelerationism, I do not think it works. I think we are trading away harm reduction for a negligible or non-existent blackmail benefit reward against the DNC and liberals. That's it. Just, I know a lot of you disagree with me, and I know the reason why. It's because of pride, okay? It fucking sucks. It fucking sucks to watch your candidate get rat fucked out of the election and then to vote for the person who did the rat fucking. I know that fucking hurts. I am a prideful man, okay? I know it hurts. But I do not think your hurt feeling, boo-boo, kiss baby, purple bruise on your arm is a valid excuse to trade up the very legitimate harm reduction that could be brought about by a non-optimal Democratic candidacy. I know it hurts. You know what we should actually do? You know what we should actually do? Here's my prescriptive judgment. Okay? Watch this, folks. You are not Bernie or bust. You'll vote blue no matter who. But, and you're always quick to remind liberals of this, there's a large portion of people who will only vote for Bernie Sanders, and if Bernie Sanders isn't the nominee, will otherwise vote for Trump. They're not all Democrats. A lot of them are independents. A lot of them are Republicans. A lot of them aren't going to vote for another candidate because they're not Democrats. Sanders is just the only one who's capable of securing those votes. So your vote blue no matter who. But there are a lot of people, a lot of them, vaguely, in the distance, who are Bernie or bust. And hey, maybe you should consider those people a little bit. If you care so much about electability, all these Biden supporters, Buttigieg, Warren supporters, you're all very big on electability, I see, when it comes to Twitter posts. What about when it comes to mailing in your ballot? What about when it comes to going to the polling booth, huh? Consider them, and you remind them of those people. Because those people exist. Again, you'll vote for anyone. You'll vote for whoever gets the candidacy. But hey, do you think there are Buttigieg or bust people? Maybe a little. You really think there are a lot? You think there's a big contingent of Buttigieg voters who are going to hop on over to Trump if they don't get their... I don't think so. I don't think so. Bernie supporters, maybe. Bernie's, captured a lot of independent support. We wouldn't want that to go right. That's what you want to do, folks. You are vote blue no matter who. But there are Bernie or busters out there lurking. And if we care about electability, we should take into consideration all of these right-leaning people or independents who are willing to, for a one-time offer only, vote blue as long as it's Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders polls very well against Donald Trump. And that independent vote comes in pretty handy, doesn't it? We shouldn't ignore these people. What if it went back over to Trump? That would look pretty bad, wouldn't it? This is the correct position. Threaten, but not with your actions, with other actions. Bernie or busters, you describe them as independents or disaffected conservatives who are interested more in populism than they are in the color of the voter that they are going for. This is the optimal strategy. Will libs listen? That's the benefit. Whether they listen or not, we're not trading off harm reduction. Some of them will listen, many of them won't, but we're not losing anything. Is this Bernie or bust argument without doing or mentioning Bernie or bust? No, because you are vote blue no matter who. That's the thing. You have to follow through on it. If Bernie doesn't win the nomination, you have to follow through on it. You have to then vote for Buttigieg or Biden as much as it hurts. That's your responsibility. Doesn't that still feed into the toxic Bernie bro narrative, just removes yourself from it? No, because there's a big difference between a toxic Bernie bro constituency that is part of the Democratic Party, which is bad, and a toxic Bernie bro constituency that's actually disaffected centrists or Republicans who are only willing to vote for Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders speaks to the interests of the working class. That is a good way of reframing the Bernie bro narrative. Bernie gets incredibly high support from women and minorities, folks. The Bernie bro narrative is dead, as far as I'm concerned. But if there is to be any zombie of that narrative, then it should be reframed as Bernie or busters who are only willing to vote for Bernie Sanders because they're not typical Democrat voters. They're independents. Bernie was an independent senator for like a million years. Anyway. I know it hurts. I love you all very much. I just want my opinions on this to be known, okay? Vote blue no matter who. But bully and threaten libs online with the massive independent constituency that would only vote for Bernie Sanders. It's brilliant. We're still doing the right thing. Bernie or bust, I don't care. Yeah, okay, I mean, I've laid out my arguments. You're free to disagree, but you're annoying, so. That's the double ban. First you get the mute, then you get the ban. That's like you trip, and then you hit your head on the rock and you die, you know? Notice, by the way, how so many of the people who disagree with me are children or idiots. Notice how a lot of the people in chat are just saying, you're wrong. You're so wrong, bro. You're wrong. Or acting like that. And that's why I said it, because it's pride. Because it is pride. And I'm going to be super clear about this. The world hinges on our decision-making in the coming election. If you are one of the rapscallion dipshits running around more interested in pride and posture than you are in making the world a better place, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're so fucking annoying, dude. You're worse than libs. Libs are misguided, but at least they think they're making the world a better place. What do you watch The Joker too many times? You fucking numbskulls. I just like to, sometimes you just like watch the world burn. Shut the fuck up. Stop. You don't get a right. Nobody gets the right. Nobody gets the right to know that they're pursuing a strategy that will make the world either a worse place or not affect the world at all, and then go ahead with it anyway because your fucking little dick pride is more important to you than whatever feeling of discomfort you would get for fucking 40 minutes one day on a Tuesday 9 months from now when you cast a vote for Bloomberg, maybe. Okay? Or Buttigieg or whatever. Just shut the fuck up, dude. You people are so fucking frustrating. I didn't get into politics so I could wave my fucking lefty dick around and posture over everyone else. What a pure anarchist Foch is, you know? If I was really pure, I wouldn't engage in electoral politics at all. Pure anarchist politics is just responding to Ben Shapiro cringe compilations on YouTube. But I get down here in the dirt because I actually care about making the world a better place. I know not all of you do. I know a lot of you are just here for the aesthetics. I know it makes you feel really fucking cool. To say, nah, Bernie or bust, bro. DNC better go my way or we're going the highway. And it's great, you know, I'm glad you're having a great time, okay? But I'm sorry. There are so many people's lives hanging in the balance here. Get these fucking LARPers out of my community. I'm not joking, okay? I've gotten tankies out of here. I've gotten the woke shits out of here. There were never any conservatives in here. But I guess if there were, I guess I've kind of just sort of by default gotten them out as well. But I want the LARPers gone too. I want the LARPers out of here too. If anyone has like some sort of crazy good argument for accelerationism in this specific respect, you're free to email it to me. But I have engaged with this subject, this specific subject, for years. Years and years and years. And I just don't think it works. The DNC won't budge, and the liberals aren't smart enough to follow through on the threat. They don't care. So hypothetically, what if we vote for establishment candidate and they win? What's the long game then? Then we never stop. You keep fighting until the day you die, okay? Populism, rise. It doesn't matter whether we have some dumb fuck centrist corporate candidate in office right now. populism rise. All right? Always. We don't get to stop. There was never a victory. You realize even if Bernie won, we're not done. There was never an end game. There is no end game. The fascists are right, folks. Life is an eternal struggle. We live the fight, okay? But we don't need to die, okay? We just need to shitpost on Twitter. And vote when we can vote, okay? That's what we need to do. Can't stop, won't stop, folks. Just keep it together. If Bernie won, Bernie's presidency would be a frustrating shit heap of failures and backstabs. And if Bloomberg or Buttigieg wins, it will also be 4 years of failure and backstabs. No matter who wins, no matter what happens, we will always be the underdogs until the day we're not. And until that day, and we are nowhere near that day, we will continue to fight for everything that we believe in as aggressively as we can. But in the meantime, harm reduction. In the meantime, harm reduction. Because if we could get everything we wanted, but along the way maybe deport a few million fewer people, that's pretty okay. Now, mind you, none of what I have just advocated for is an argument to not support Bernie Sanders. During the primary, you should ruthlessly attack other candidates and do everything in your power to get Bernie Sanders the nomination. During the primary, you should be the most sadistic bastard imaginable. Bully the libs until they delete their Twitter accounts, okay? I want to see a fucking field of former Warren Stan accounts. I want the K-Hive to quit the internet, okay? I want to send all these fucking soccer moms and hedge fund managers back to the eldritch pit they crawled out of, okay? But is that bad optics? Anyone who believes it's bad optics for people to argue over which candidate is the best during a fucking primary deserves to be a low-running contestant in a Minecraft Hunger Game episode where they get shot by a bow in the first 3 minutes. That's politics. This is cringe, bro. Nothing to do with pride, just World War III and climate change. Like, come on. What, Invicta? You think World War III and climate change would be forestalled by not voting for a Democratic candidate if Bernie Sanders wasn't the primary candidate? Wait, what? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, no, we're doing the purge now, boys. There is no harm reduction under capitalism. True, which is why I don't feel bad at all about doing this. There is no harm reduction under capitalism. Show up to my fucking house. I'll show you. Okay? There is no harm reduction under capitalism. What a spoiled fucking white boy fucking position, dude. What a fucking upper middle class white cis straight boy position. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm privileged as shit, and even I fucking know that there are ways to engage in harm reduction under capitalism. What a class reductionist dipshit, dude. Yeah, I'm sure there was absolutely no fucking harm reduction when the Obama presidency officially like recognized trans people, or when gay people got the fucking marriage, or when the ACA was passed. Yeah, no harm reduction at all. You know, hundreds of thousands, millions of people's lives being made better. Oh, but do you realize that the commodity form is still in place? Harm reduction? Don't you realize you still work for the benefit of another man? Well, get the fuck out of here. God, fuck me. Jesus Christ, there's nothing wrong with harm reduction as long as it's not being used to argue against the legitimacy of further improvements. Okay? People against harm reduction are bigots. The only time it's acceptable to argue against harm reduction is if you believe the long-term consequences of that harm reduction are worse than whatever is happening that is being reduced, you know? Like, for example, if the ACA was passed, but then the ACA was used as like an excuse to not go over and reform it, or to make any like improvements to future medical positions in the future. All right, okay, we did it. We yelled at chat. We yelled at chat. We yelled at chat. Nicely done. We yelled at chat. Would FDR be a bad type of harm reduction then? Yes. FDR specifically passed the New Deal with the aim of saving capitalism. We were close to a socialist revolution back in 1930s America. We were close. There were a lot of socialists and anarchists wandering the streets during the Great Depression. But then he very deliberately, orchestrated, the state power in such a way as to convince the population they didn't need socialism. Whatever. All right, we done the thing. We have so many donations to go over, and all of them are paragraphs. I fucking hate you guys. I'm cutting the fucking character count in half. I'm cutting the character count in half. For the fucking you all lost your privileges. Every stream I say please don't donate paragraphs, and then every single one of you it's like a tweet, like a tweet where you're angry and you're trying to fill up every fucking thing. One of you, I remember the stream where one of you guys donated a link to it like a text file for a longer donation. Jesus Christ. That person was a king, though. Make T4 subs have double character count. I might do that. I might make it so if you donate more, you can type out more. I don't like privileging people who give me more money or anything. It's just materially, like I read out every donation. So when every single fucking person donates like 4 sentences, like and a lot of them are like jokes too. So like I have to like do a thing. Yeah, nice plutocracy, Pepe mods. I know. Stay, man. Hold on. We have John Doyle to go over. Do I not even have that link out? Oh, there it is. Why did I have 2 links out? That's weird. Oy, oy. L-Jess with the $5. I live in Sweden, so I don't see why Americans are so against Bernie's system. Even our Nazi party doesn't want to abolish it, just restrict it for black and brown people. It works decently. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Nazis are usually willing to kowtow on certain economic positions. Sad Comrade with the tier 1 sub. I have now enjoyed your content for over a year. My last sub was a Prime sub on Twitch, Lamau. Keep memeing, Beard Man. Ayaya. Car alarm outside. Thank you, Comrade. Very much appreciated. Happy to have you around for such a long time. Per Mousin with the $5. Most sociologically sophisticated anime you've ever watched. Also, I think many of us would love it if you could react to the Korean movie Parasite. I will watch Parasite soon. I promise that. As for sociologically sophisticated anime, I haven't actually seen it. I hear Log Horizon is pretty good. Evangelion, maybe. Kisnaever was like sociology, but for 6th graders, you know what I mean? That was pretty good. Dumb Cumpster with the tier 1 sub. I'm nursing a very bad hangover at work. Please wish me strength. What do you think Bernie's strategy should be for the debate tonight? Should he go aggro and Mayo and Joey? Can't wait to jack off at home later. God bless. I don't know. We'll go over to on the stream tonight. You'll watch. Love you. Burn the pigs with the $5. This Mao Zedong guy has been saying, isn't Bernie overhyped though in chat for weeks, whining about how the American left isn't pushing directly for Marxist utopia? Please BTFO this. Yeah, the Mao Zedong person in chat is kind of like the little, is like, you know how when you're working out sometimes you keep like a picture of like your pre-workout body by your bedstand so you can like look at your body in the mirror and then take a look at your old picture and you can like be refreshed and energized by how far you've come. Mao Zedong is like, for me, like the 60 IQ sort of like avatar in chat that I can look at and feel refreshed about my own cognitive abilities. Cola Dick with the gifted tier 1 sub. Thank you. I've gone to your D Live profile after every stream you've done there and the broadcast is never recorded. The save recording of my stream is off by default. Wait, I have to click a switch? Okay, I'll click the switch so you guys don't all miss my streams forever from now on. Mr. Skelly Pierce, the tier 1 sub. Bernie needs to stop saying urban areas are doing good compared to rural people. That's not true for brown communities. In Chicago, we keep moving them out of our communities. He needs to start speaking to older brown people. Yeah, I can understand that, but a lot of older brown people live in rural areas. The black people in the South don't tend to vote for Bernie that much because they're very hesitant. They want to vote for Biden. They care very much about electability, I think. Maybe he could adjust his rhetoric a little bit. That's possible. I have not seen Psychopaths. I saw the first 2 episodes. Paul Resendez, the $5. Why isn't your hair as beautiful and majestic as Hassan's? Excuse me. I haven't gotten a haircut in a little while, but you know, yeah, Southern black voters do tend to be pretty conservative. Oh, my hair's still wet from the shower. Then I guess it's not very pretty, huh? And Paul Resendez, the $5. Thank you. Will you go over the shocking news that Bloomberg is a transphobe? Big ups the Rhode Island heckler who called out Bloomberg for being in Epstein's black book. I don't know. I didn't know that he was a transphobe. I mean, it's not surprising to me, but I haven't seen any like news to that effect. Somebody should link it in chat. Professional Dork with the tier 1 sub. Canadian rootin' for Bernie. Dab. True! And EB with the $10. Thank you, man. Aunt's hard for Hillary and won't stop blaming Bernie for her loss. M-I-A-D? For triggering her by saying she's scapegoating him? What? No. All Hillary Clinton fans in 2020 should be bullied to their graves. You can do anything you want. Absolutely anything you want. People are so horny for you. Lilith Lovett, I saw you fucking compliment baiting a few streams ago. Didn't you like post a picture of yourself or something? I fucking got eyes on you, Lilith. I see your shit. Anyway, yeah, bully the fuck out of all Hillary supporters. Ghost of FDR with the $5. I don't consent to the tip. I consent to the full 9-inch rod. I guess I can never pull out then? I just have to stay buried? Just have to stay in forever? Miles Hill with the $10. Thank you very much, comrade. Oh, here's Bloomberg transphobia. Fuck yeah. The only people who like nuclear energy are people who have never seen its impact firsthand. I was part of the relief efforts in 2011 and put me strongly off it. Okay, Miles Hill, I love you. I hope you know that. I love you so much. You're beautiful to me. Don't make decisions on gigantic fucking policy implementations because you were personally part of one cleanup that was like the most decade, which was like the decade, the one like nuclear accident of the decade. Like you shouldn't make decisions based off that information. Nuclear power is way fucking safer, like way fucking safer, statistically speaking, than other forms of power, like way fucking safer. And also every time there's a nuclear disaster, it's because the dipshits who run that facility like don't manage it properly. A well-run nuclear plant is by far the safest and most productive presently available system of energy production, and as to my knowledge. 7 of Spades with the $2. Have you become a React Andy yet? YouTube link D. True. I would love to be a React Andy. So much easier. Nor Socialist with the tier 1 sub. Do you have any opinions on lawyers as a whole? For example, how the majority of lawyers are corporate lawyers who exist to protect companies from doing bad stuff, and there would be a better if we just got rid of it. Lawyers will always need to exist as long as we have laws. The fact that lawyers are often sadistic sociopaths is a reflection of the fact that laws are sociopathic in many cases. But there's nothing wrong with lawyers like as a concept. Lawyers are very important to society. And there are good lawyers out there. Hammer Time with the $1. You see Bloomberg's hilarious response to Trump. He's going to own him in debates. I saw this and I nearly killed myself. This nearly ended the fucking Vosh career arc, dude. This right here would have been the fucking end. You all know it.
Lie, 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 unfair, lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie.
This has actually been posted. This was actually the Bloomberg campaign. This is the Bloomberg campaign Twitter. It is 2 minutes and 33 seconds long. I take back everything I said. Don't vote for Bloomberg, even if he's the primary candidate, okay? I take it all back. This is worse than Trump. Harm reduction is voting for Trump, if this is the alternative.
Lie, 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 lie.
So yeah, that nearly ended the stream before it began. Right there. Whew. Paramousin with the $2. Favorite Japanese phrases? Also, would you fuck a Nazi? No, I would not fuck a Nazi. I could fuck like a regular conservative, but I would never fuck a Nazi. I've got a big dick. Why would I ever privilege a Nazi by allowing them to enjoy the stretch of the fat dick? Yeah, that was probably Bloomberg, like a $40,000 fucking investment from Bloomberg, and he'll never feel it either, you know? Favorite Japanese phrase? Pador. I don't fucking know. John Garrison with the $5. The best kind of accelerationist position is the one with accelerant in Call of Duty. True. The Pie Man with $5. Light Yagami 2020 Death Note, the 1%. Also true, except political violence is bad. Vosh idolizing big dicks again and again is pretty Pepe feels weird, man. Eurus, what the fuck? Can I not just be a fucking size queen? Don't fucking shame me. What the fuck is that? What about femboy Nazi? Tempting Lilith love it, but no. No femboy Nazis either. All dicks are kings? Yes, all dicks are kings. Yet, still, I have a preference. What is this big dick shaming? What the fuck is this? What, because I express a preference, that means I'm saying everything else is trash? I literally stand like horse dick. My preference is withstanding, you know? How big is your dick? We get asked this every single fucking stream. Everyone knows how big my dick is. Can't you guys just type it? All of you type out number X number, and all of you are gonna get it right, okay? Dave Squatch with the 569. Bernie and bust. When he gets the nomination, I'm certainly going to bust. Oh, me too. It's going to be an orgasmic night. Why am I here with the tier 1 sub? Hey, Vosh, pretty new to streams here. Appreciate the content. I've flip-flopped and Bernie or bust a lot, but at the very least, I know I could pinch my nose and vote for Warren. I'm in Vermont, though, so my general vote doesn't matter, lol. Love the stream. Yeah, maybe not in Vermont, no. Thank you, comrade. Happy to have you here for the streams. I appreciate it. Will I be attending Anime Expo 2020? I hope I will. I finally have the money to buy anything I want. Constantine Strangelove with the €5. Thank you. Pence will be the next. He is smart and charismatic enough. Republicans love him. Fascists know his power level. Democrats would vote for him. I don't know. I get the feeling that the Republican Party isn't going to be able to find something to capture the Trump energy again, you know? I'm not sure. Ghost of FDR with the $10. Thank you, man. This Chad Dem is running for Congress where I live. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. When I see this, I'm really, really not trying to hate. But when I see this, I don't think Chad. I think Renaissance Fair. Yeah, it's the hat and the glasses, I think.
Toss a coin to your streamer, oh viewers plenty.
Ren Fair is still good. Yeah, it's the hat and the glasses, I think. I think you can pull off beard braids. I think it's possible. Chat seems extremely split on whether or not this is Chad energy. That's anti-beard, you fucker. I'm not saying the beard part is bad. I don't like the hat and glasses. Kays plays games with the $2. Elections are just one step for social change, not the end. That is true. Wanton disregard with the $5. I'll write in Kim Jong-un before I vote for a neoliberal. Okay, yeah, see, this is what I mean by, like, the aesthetics thing, right? Don't. Jesus. Neon44 with the $5. I tried to make this argument about disaffected centrists and Republicans to a Hillary hoe I know, and they were still saying they should vote blue no matter who. They just totally glazed over it. Well, like I said, liberals are very fucking stupid, so you're not able to get much from them, you know? But I get it, and I appreciate the sentiment, you know? Here, I'm gonna go over a few more donos. Oh god, I hope we have time to do what I wanted to do. Jesus Christ. Because I'm on a timer here. Sean 1 with the $2. How about this? Say Bernie or bust to trigger the libs, but vote for the Dem if you have to in the general. Yeah, something in that ballpark. Chisad Bailey with the $5. I'm Bernie or bust, but I don't use that as an argument against liberals. I got a lot of Bernie or bust apologists here in chat. Chisad Bailey with $2. They don't want to fix the world, then let it burn. I don't want to let the world burn, though. Frosty T.O. with the $5. Do you think it would be a good time to do a stream on post-leftism sometime? Because I think that might be where a lot of this posturing LARPer shit comes from. I don't like... I like sticking to immediate, tangible benefits. The post-leftism stuff is kind of out of my wheelhouse, but I can give it a look. Dead Marine 1980 with the $5. The despair of these days constantly feeds the urge for me to visit ladies of the night. Wait, you mean like go to a sex worker? Yeah, just go get a sex worker. I mean, I don't know like where you live or if it's legal where you live or whatever, but yeah, just go find a fucking, they're workers too. Go enjoy the fruits of their labor with your penis. I assume you have a penis. You might not have a penis. Title Punk Roller Girl with the $5. I'm really nervous and shaky because Loopy Jackal is going to be here tomorrow. I'm very happy and excited, but I can't think about anything else, and waiting feels like glass grinding. Woof, I love my boy. You're so fucking gay. Title Punk Roller Girl and Loopy Jackal. But I think it's cute. Enjoy your fucking long distance, what have you. Conier's over here, but Conyer and I aren't fucking. Ding Dong Dangler with the $1. What are your thoughts on Jeb Bush as a viable alternative to further leftist ideology, assuming Bernie doesn't get the Democratic nomination? Jeb Bush isn't an alternative to leftist ideology. Jeb Bush is leftist ideology. Never make this mistake again. Lexify with the $1. No, don't reduce the character count. You're so sexy. Haha. I might have to, because we're still like fucking 50 donos away from the end. Mr. E with the $5. I'm in New York, which will go blue no matter who. I agree with your argument, but I do not believe I am causing harm by quietly abstaining. Thought? I mean, you could be causing harm by quietly abstaining, by not throwing weight behind the candidate, but you aren't doing any good by not voting. I think you should always vote. I wish there was mandatory voting in this country. I know there are problems with it, but I still wish. Zanya with the $5. What about the idea that there's never a better time than incoming elections to take an or bust stand to make a statement to the challenging party? I just don't think it works because the DNC doesn't fucking listen. I don't think they care about winning. I think there are better times. You just pressure them at all times, but you still have to, you know, we also might have to bend the knee, in my opinion. Burn the Pigs with the $5. Mr. Skelly Pierce in chat is a pro-HRC Warren supporter who wants to debate you. I think it would be hilarious, please, Daddy. Maybe. No. I said John Doyle. We can't do both. I said John Doyle. Sure. Mr. Skelly Pierce, get in the Discord. If you have a shit mic, we're not going to be talking. Get in the Discord. Get in the voice channel. Get in the voice channel. The stream call-in voice channel. Big Dick Wilson with the $5. Vosh, I love your passion for humanity and how aggressive it comes. Like you really care, and that's why I watch you, because I'm a political scientist in order to do the same thing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why else would we be doing this, right? That's the shit I care about. June with the tier 1 sub, just one sentence. What a good donation. Thank you, comrade. I appreciate it. And Burn the Pigs with the $5. Mr. Skelly Pearson chats a pro-HRC Warren supporter who wants to debate you. I think it'd be hilarious. Please, Daddy. Duly noted, comrade. Duly noted. Araxio with the $5. Been some flavor of socialist for my entire adult life. For more than a decade, been shit on again and again. Get fucking used to it. Get to work and soldier on, you lazy fuck. Shove pride up your ass. That is 100% true, yeah. That is 100% true. Pride just has no place in politics. At least not in making good decisions when it comes to politics. Jojo Wax with the $5. No paragraph, just money. Love you, boo. Aw, thank you, comrade. Very much appreciated. Here, some of you dipshits help them get on Discord. I'm going to go use the restroom. When we get back, we either debate them or we go over John Doyle, okay? Can we just make this work? All I want is one goddamn stream where you fucking get through everything. I'm lowering the fucking character count on these donos. Do we have a contender? I don't see a contender. They're in the Discord. I'm sure they'll figure it out. Hardcore Val with the $5. There's a Bernie video that calls out Peter made a couple minutes ago, I think. Yeah, I saw it. It was a good meme, 100%. And Drunk Nihilism with the tier 2 sub. Thank you. Jesus fucking Christ, as a DACA kid, I mauled hard whenever I hear someone posture about being Bernie or bust. Thanks for voicing some of my frustrations, comrade. No problem, friend, though. I'm here for you. I love you, okay? A lot of pride gets tied up in politics. 10 cents a character? No, I'm not going to make people literally pay for the length of the donation. You need some kind of infographics to show people how they're going to get chatting to you. I just don't know how people can't figure it out. Now forget it. We're doing John Doyle. Do you have any idea how long it's been since we've done John Doyle? I have incredibly limited patience. We'll get it working later on, okay? I'm a very in the moment type of person, you know? Hold on, let me change the stream title. No bullshit called me out? When did no bullshit call me out? Oh, was it the Kobe thing? I didn't even watch that video. Remember in March last year when you said you thought John Doyle was good faith? Yeah, I take that back. Folks! You have any idea how long it's been since we've enjoyed content from the one, the only, Jonathan Delaney? My God, I mean, it's been ages. The truth about Simps. Heck off, commie. John Doyle has done a very rude thing by having a large amount of subscriber growth since the last time I covered him. Very unappreciated, Doyle. I don't like that very much. Let's see how he's been doing. Does he still have the intro?
It doesn't matter if you're a big boy or an itty-bitty boy. If you think that body-shaming Lizzo is good content, then you're not 100% that bitch, you're just a bitch. And if that truth hurts, then you deserve to develop a peanut allergy and get pushed to the floor of a Texas Roadhouse waiting area. I'm sure that'll feel good as hell. And Lizzo, if you're watching this, the haters, you are a queen. They couldn't f it up to the tempo if they wanted to.
Whoa! Hey, cool.
Chapter 2. The Psychology of the Simp.
Wait, what are we...
Analogously to the
Wait, is that Doyle? Wait, why is he... Did he finally hit puberty? It looks like he's got some acne going on now.
The Psychology of the Simp. Analogously to the question of the chicken and the egg, one has to ask himself when dissecting the simp, exactly which is the causal factor in this clearly symbiotic relationship. Orthodox simp theory will have you believe that it is only through the cultural manufacturing of the thought that the simp can manifest. However, this fails to maintain its structural integrity.
What are we... Okay, well, okay. Wait, listen. I'm here for the sociology of simping, okay? I'm here for it, all right? I'm very interested to see where this goes, okay? But, yeah, orthodox simp theory. I'm very curious, okay? But the format of this video has left me discombobulated.
Both in theory and practice, for it is demonstrably correct that given the law of female obedience, the thought can only manifest once the simp has provided a path of lesser resistance for the necessary siphoning of external gratification.
So I think this is red pill stuff. This is female hypergamy. By the way, red pillar shit is unironically way cringier than asking for feet pics on Instagram, okay? Also, how is this a simp? Men are pig shirt, yes, that includes me. Wait. But that's not a simp thing. That's just like the cringy performative self-denunciation thing. To John Doyle, does simp mean just like every time a dude does something cringy?
It is precisely because of this relationship that all efforts to cure the modern strain of thottery must originate with the simp, but more importantly, with the cognitive deviation of society, which is a...
Simp means sucker idolizing mediocre pussy. So a simp is a derogatory term for somebody who will like go out of their way to adulate and worship like a bitch who isn't even worth it, basically. That's the gist of it. But simp does not necessarily mean reply guy, and simp does not necessarily mean coomer who constantly asks for nudes. A simp does not necessarily mean like a pussy worshiper or someone who believes all women are queens, and a simp doesn't mean someone who engages in cringy pseudo-feminist self-denunciations of masculinity. These are not all the same thing, but I'm going to assume that all of these things, yeah, just mean like soy boy. Like this is just a video on soy boys. That kind of sucks because I was interested in seeing like the simp philosophy specifically. You got to get your terms right, you know?
Allowed for the simp to migrate from atypical cringe to the elevated platform of normalcy, and even in more unfortunate cases.
Also, this weird like National Geographic documentary, like classical music being played over a 14-year-old looking guy explaining to me in pseudo anthropological terms the behavior of people online is really strange. I don't like this aesthetic. This has always come off very pretentious to me.
This is promotion.
Hey! Hey! The classic, it ain't changed! Back in the old days! It's the emote!
John Doyle in. Heck off, commie.
It's the emote! We still got him! He's still here! These are the good old days, man.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Heck Off Commie. Do you ever...
Is it still the same set? It's still Heck Off Commie. He's got the little Jesus dude. Tesla, Smith & Wesson, Enjoy Capitalism, the Bolsheviks, and he's... Yeah, okay, it's the same set. No changes, I don't think.
Wonder why men have become so feminine? Why testosterone is dropping so much in the West? Well, I hope you've been wondering...
Wait. I don't know what evidence there is that men have become less feminine. What is this? Have average testosterone levels been decreasing? Yeah, studies show men's testosterone levels have been decreasing for decades, with an average decline of about 1% per year. Probably like a food thing, right? Yeah, it seems to me probably like a food or like a dietary thing. Maybe stress, yeah? Yeah, soy milk, Pepe. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing like what that is. I don't actually know what my testosterone level is. I mean, you would kind of expect that it would be high. Because I'm like this big hairy guy, you know? But I have no idea.
Wondering because it's a serious problem that no one really seems to be talking about, so...
Wait, why is it a problem? I'm curious.
We're going to talk about that today. But yeah, did you like that excerpt that I shared with you from my new book? The other day I was bored, and so I decided to start outlining a book because it's all been very tiresome recently with all the simps and with all the thoughts, and so...
What? Yeah, see, I was laying in bed, and I was so bored of all the Simpson thoughts, so I just started outlining a book. This is like this feels like a perfect synchronicity of the, like, / I am very smart shit. Like, oh, I was just laying in my room, thinking about it all, thinking about the triviality of the common man, when a book outline came to me. It seems like that, you know?
So... And, like, obviously it's a joke, right? When we talk about, like, thought patrol and simping and never e-girls, like, it's basically said as a joke. But what's important to remember is that, like all good jokes, there is a large degree of truth behind them. And so we're going to talk about what simps are, what they do. We're going to talk about what causes people to become simps. And there's not, like, one reason for it, but I think there are a few that are important to acknowledge. Things like declining testosterone.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this.
Social media, lack of fathers, and I've got data for all of that. But that being said, it's also important to understand that there is a difference between a reason for something and an excuse for something. So we'll talk about why simping...
Oh, shit. He's not letting them off the hook, boys. Oh, shit. He's got reasons, but he's not excusing you. He's explaining he's not forgiven.
Is bad. Then we'll talk about how to stop simping, and that includes how to stop being a simp and also how to stop others from being simps. But yeah, you saw the beginning of this video. These men are absolutely insufferable and cringe. And
so wait, so again, he just means soy boy. Does he know what simp means? Because again, simp means sucker, idolizing mediocre pussy. There were things in there that had nothing to do with that. The first person just seemed like a stan for Lizzo. That's not being a simp. Like, even remotely. Those are two completely different things. And then there was a video of some girls twerking? Is that simping? I'm not sure.
it's like we can point and laugh, but if people are only perceiving this to be a joke, then they're ignoring the problem, but also the gravity of the implications of what's causing this behavior from men. So we'll start with the video for now, but if it gets worse, who knows? We might have to author a treatise against this type of behavior. Working title is Never E-Girls, The Case Against Simping. And
this is cringe. I have nothing else to say. This is cringe right here.
Of course, covers a broad range of subjects. Chapter 1, Why Never E-Girls. Chapter 2, The Psychology of the Simp. Chapter 3, The Psychology of the Thought. Chapter 4, The Fallacy of Spare Coochie.
Spare Coochie. Spare Coochie, ma'am.
Squidward? Squidward, is that you?
Chapter 5.
There's been an interesting change in the tone of these videos. Before, when I watched John Doyle's videos, I felt like I was watching the earnest high school project of a classic conservative. And now I feel like I'm watching something that leans more towards alt-right demagoguery. This is shit posting. And everything he's talking about right now, this Never E-Girls thing, this kind of sounds like Fuentes rhetoric, actually. Yeah, this sounds like Fuentes rhetoric. Never E-Girls, folks. You know, maybe write up a little treatise on how to stop this simping menace. You know, it does sound a little bit like Fuentes Red Ice kind of stuff. Trying to appeal. He's got the Zoomer memes in there now. The 15-year-old SpongeBob meme, which is pretty good.
How to Restore the Family, Chapter 6.
How to Restore the Family? Yeah, I don't know.
Nobility of Thought Patrol. Chapter 7, Abstinence is Epic. Chapter 8.
See, that right there, stuff like abstinence is epic. It's the ungodly union of traditional conservatism, which is as far away from punk rock as you can get, with the disaffected, mimetic language of internet Zoomers.
Know Your Role, Chapter 9 on
Know Your Role.
On Becoming the Gamer, and Chapter 10 Conclusion.
Becoming the See, and again, it's all just a joke. Obviously, it's all just a joke. This does sound exactly like a Fuentes bit right here. I don't know if you guys watch America First at all. I do from time to time. This sounds exactly like one. The difference being that Doyle over here is more earnest, which makes it cringier than when Nick does it, because you know that every time Nick finishes a stream, he wanders off to the back set room to molest a gun and lovingly rub the barrel against the underside of his chin, you know? Whereas Doyle, I feel like might, still be clinging on to life.
It's gonna be a real page turner. We're gonna get Nick to write the foreword. It's gonna dominate.
All right, well, take back everything that I've said before with all the analysis. We didn't need to do it. It's never mind. Could have just waited to get a little farther. You know, boy, I'm on point.
The hardcover nonfiction list for the better part of a decade, but again, we don't want it to come to that if at all possible. So we're mainly going to focus on simps right now, but we might talk about thoughts in another video. But for those of you who don't know, a simp is a guy like the ones you saw at the beginning. The best way to think of it is like a guy who was whipped, but it's even worse.
No! It has a specific meaning. Getting a pedicure for my best guy friend ever. Now, if I can only get a boyfriend like this. No, this is a dude in the friend zone. These words have different fucking meanings, dude. Jesus Christ, John Doyle is younger than I am. I'm like a fucking an archaeological fossil compared to John Doyle. And I feel like I'm more familiar with the difference. See, and when you conflate all of these words, what you do is you gain the ability to ascribe tendencies of any one word to someone of any other word. You now get the ability. So when you ascribe all these things together, soy boys, simps, stans, people in the friend zone, whatever, when you align all these memes together, now you have the ability to insult a person who you assign to one of these groups with characteristics that are assigned to all of these groups. It's interesting, though. I had long postulated that John Doyle was destined to go alt-right. This isn't surprising to me at all. And it's funny because I used to have an email correspondence with a girl who was friends with him in high school who disagreed vehemently with his positions. And she was like, he's getting like crazier and crazier, but I still hope that you could be nice to him because there's a good boy underneath all of that. Actually, I very often get messages from people who are friends with alt-right figures who tell me like, they used to not be like this. Or like the story is always like in high school they were picked on and they kind of adopted conservatism as a cope ideology or something. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. I've long suggested this. What tipped me off is that a while ago, John Doyle said that the only reason why... the only reason that being homosexual was removed from the DSM was because of political pressure and not because of like any legitimate psychological reason. So I figured that was like way farther on than the average conservative position. I don't know how he feels about the Jews though. Maybe because Nick's obviously a neo-Nazi. I don't know if Doyle is a Nazi or just a fascist.
Because he's not even with the girl. These are guys that orbit girls online, they shower them with attention, validation, compliments, just hoping and praying that one day she's gonna realize what a nice guy I am and how I've always been there for her, and then she's gonna want me. It's like, okay, that's what a simp is by definition, but they're...
No, this could refer to like 4 different things. This is beta orbiter. This is a beta orbiter. Like, why...
There are also guys that white knight for women. You know, like if you're at a party and you make a joke about some girl and she laughs at it, but then this other guy comes up, don't you ever disrespect a woman like that in front of me, bro. You better apologize right now. And it's, stop. Like, and that's not to say that disrespecting women is okay, but you know the guys I'm talking about. These are guys that unnecessarily defend these women because they think that it's going to score points with them. And it's always cringe and every man sees right through it. Male feminists are a great example of white knights. And you might
see, now we're bringing in male feminists to this.
I remember I've said before that there is no such thing as an honest male feminist, and that's true, and we'll get into that in a bit more detail in a second. But basically my thesis is that single mothers and...
So what we've done now is we've just taken every single guy that a conservative would call cringe, and we've all put this under the simp label. I guess I can stop complaining about this, but I feel like if you're doing a video on simping, you really should just focus on simping and not spread it out to like a million different things. Now, I've talked about this before, of course. I've said this in multiple videos. If you're doing any cringy, like performatively denouncing masculinity to appeal to women, or you're white knighting or whatever, like this is all bad behavior. You shouldn't engage in that stuff, and it is cringe. But, you know, I keep the terms apart.
Social media, aided by an unprecedented decline in testosterone, have created a generation of weak men, and this often manifests as becoming a simp. And let me be clear, when I say that like single mothers have helped create this, that's not necessarily their fault.
So I would absolutely love to see evidence that a decline in testosterone has led to an increase in people engaging in this behavior. This is that biological essentialism that fascists love to lean into right here. It can't be social factors. It can't be men are behaving this way due to socioeconomic factors. It can't be due to a change in culture or technology. It absolutely has to be to a biological deficiency on the part of the people who are engaging in that behavior, because that essentialism is necessary to fascists.
Fault? Or it's not necessarily that they did this intentionally. It's just an acknowledgement that mothers are mothers and they cannot be fathers. And those roles are decided.
What the fuck does that mean?
Decidedly different. Of course, there are exceptions, right? There always are, but exceptions do not override overwhelming tendencies, which can be substantiated with mountains of data.
Well, the mountains of data actually indicate that there was no harm done to a child if a child is raised by 2 men or 2 women. That has been 100% substantiated. There is no evidence to indicate that a person absolutely needs to be raised by exactly one woman and exactly one man. I'd love to see those mountains of data, by the way, that causatively prove that being raised by two men or two women or whatever harm a child. Keep in mind that the nuclear family has only been a thing for a few hundred years, like as a staple of society, and that for thousands of years before that, you usually raised kids in villages. Like, you know, raising kids was a communal exercise, and sometimes that would mean that you're with your dad and your uncle, and your mom died in the war, and you'd have your brothers, and you'd all get raised by dudes. And sometimes it would be the opposite. Most of the time, it'd be a composite of both, but there's just no evidence to suggest what his claim is here. Skelly is ready if you're in any way interested still. No, it'll have to be later.
So the reason we're going to talk about the effects of boys not having fathers present first is because the effects of that are much harder to reverse, assuming that they can even be reversed.
What are we talking about?
As compared to the general decline in testosterone levels on average. And so one of the biggest reasons for that is that the relationship that you have with your dad is what socializes you as a child and teaches you to push yourself to your
source
limits, and your testosterone levels can actually respond positively to this. For example, if you take two men and you measure their testosterone levels before a competition, if you measure them again after the competition, the man who won the competition will measure higher than previously, and the man who lost the competition will measure lower.
What does that have to do with your initial claim? You can compete with women too. Also, this is, just so you know, this is very gay. What this source implies some very gay shit. I just want that known. But this doesn't, this is, guys, remember the Mott and Bailey? We all know the Mott and Bailey, right? The Mott and Bailey is when you say you're going to defend a claim, but then when that claim is challenged, you defend a different claim. So the claim he's making is that you need a man to teach you competitions so you can have high testosterone levels or something, like as a parent. And then the source that he's providing is one that says that when you engage in a competition, your test levels are higher at the end. That's it. These are irrelevant data pieces. You can compete with women. Women, this effect that he's pointing out here would affect women too. He said men. When men compete, listen to him.
Men and you measure their testosterone levels before a competition, if you measure them again after the competition, the man who won the competition will measure higher than previously, and the man who lost the competition will measure lower.
That's so interesting. He says man, but when I look at the abstract of the data, it doesn't actually mention gender. Testosterone rose before and after matches. Players with the highest pre-match testosterone had the most positive improvement in mood before their matches. After matches, winners with rising testosterone. That's weird. There's nothing here that says anything about men, but he's masculinizing the results because doing so makes it seem as though he's proving the point that he's trying to prove, which it doesn't. Even if that was just for men, it wouldn't. But that's strange. Why would he misrepresent that data? Not the first time I've caught you doing that, Doyle.
Than previously. And having higher testosterone gives you a greater chance of competing successfully in general, as we'll talk about. So you can actually create a positive feedback loop like this when you're succeeding.
Wait, is that how we think it works? Like if you win a competition, your test levels get higher, and then you do like more shit with higher test levels, which let you win more competitions to get higher test level? Does he think that a test level is like a high score? Like you can just keep raising it, just keep leveling up, bro. Just keep doing competitions. Your testosterone level averages out at a certain point, and there are fluctuations in that testosterone level based on a wide variety of factors. What is this? The feedback loop? His test levels are getting out of control. We gotta shut him down. He's winning. He won't stop winning. Like what was the point that's being cemented here?
Succeed, your testosterone increases, then you succeed more, you're more likely to, etc.
But no, he actually believes that. What? Wait, no, I'm not joking. He actually believes that. Where's the source on that one? I noticed you provided a 30-year-old source on how winning a competition increases testosterone. Where's the source on you can enter a test feedback loop that sends you to Super Saiyan level 4?
Etc. But this can't happen if you don't have the foundation present, which comes from your dad.
Source needed?
Without that foundation, you're not going to be socialized, you're not going to want to push yourself to your limits, and you won't have discipline or self-control. And you won't...
I have mountains and mountains of data to prove this point. Here's a link on how winning a competition makes your test levels higher. So, as I was saying, a man is absolutely necessary in the life of a child because only they can provide this benefit. Like,
develop a capacity.
No, I don't
for
have any
empathy.
sources.
And again,
Thank
these
you.
are observed tendencies, not rules. Obviously, there are exceptions, and you can overcome obstacles. But let's remember that obstacles exist for these young men in the first place, right? So,
young everyone. This testosterone effect affects women as well.
We've seen that the amount of time that a father spends with a child is one of the strongest predictors of empathy in adulthood. And the reason for that is that the dad enforces the boundaries.
Interesting. I would love to see this. The family origins of empathetic concern. Also, I've never heard that before. The man is the one that reinforces empathy. Usually, like, usually it's the people say that, like, Evo Psych dudes will say it's the woman. Okay, let's see what this guy has to say about it.
Moms tend to set more boundaries, but dads tend to be the ones who actually enforce them. So a mom might say that your bedtime is 9 p.m., but you can 15 more minutes your way into 9:45 pretty easily, right? But if a dad says that your bedtime is 9 p.m., guess when bedtime is? It's 9 p.m. And so what that does is it teaches the child to respect boundaries, and by teaching them to respect boundaries and
this is literally not... The study examined whether adult empathetic concern was associated with parental behavior in early childhood. Subjects were drawn from a longitudinal sample first investigated, blah, blah. From 1957, by the way. So this is a longitudinal sample that had its roots in the 50s for a study in the 1990s that he's using to prove a point. 30 years later, that means you need to have like a man. Completed an adjective checklist from which an index of empathy concern was derived. Scores in the index were regressing from 11 parent interventions from maternal interviews when the subjects were 5 years old. The results revealed that a significant multiplier are indicating that taken together, the parenting dimensions predicted the level of empathetic concern at age 31. Adult levels of empathetic concern were most strongly related with the following parenting dimensions: paternal involvement in child care, maternal tolerance of dependent behavior, maternal inhibition of child's aggression, maternal satisfaction with the role of the mother. This has nothing to do. For one, what John Doyle is saying is that, like, men intrinsically set, what is he saying? That men intrinsically set boundaries, but women intrinsically enforce boundaries or something? Or that? I would love to see any evidence to suggest that these are intrinsic behaviors associated with men or women. Is it the other way around? It doesn't matter. It depends on the person, you know? And all this study indicates is that the presence of these conditions, which are associated with maternal or paternal behaviors, tend to predict empathy. This does not prove that you need a man in, like, a kid's life to help them develop empathy. Like, that is just not supported by the available data. This is why, and I've said this before, guys, people like this are more dangerous than people like Nick, I think. Because to an uneducated person, John Doyle might seem like he has his shit together because he, like, posts source, but all the sources that he posts are ancient fucking single study non-meta analyses that do not relate to the actual point that they are making. They consistently do this. Every time any source is cited by these people, you have to go over it. It's very important because they will slip so much bullshit by you. And if they're not providing a source, that usually means that their claim is so ostentatious that that they couldn't even find anything to support it, you know?
Treat them seriously, you're teaching them to respect the needs of others. Now, what moms bring to the table is the understanding that children need empathy, which is very important, but because moms are less likely to enforce boundaries, that empathy can be used against them without the presence of a father. So basically, empathy is a virtue, and mothers are empathetic and nurturing towards their children by nature. But if that only...
I mean, so are fathers? What is this? It's like, as we all know, men have a 6.2 rating on the rule enforcement scale, and females have a 3.8. What the fuck are you talking about? Everyone, it's funny, he says, you know, empathy is a virtue, being around men teaches you empathy, and then he says women are naturally empathetic to their children. The ways in which they attempt to reassert like their bullshit projected traditional gender roles. Everyone is sympathetic to their kids. Like that's biologically how you're supposed to be. Go tell a father, like a good loving father, that he isn't like predisposed to loving his children or something, or being empathetic towards his children. They'll smack you silly.
Goes from parent to child without requiring reciprocity from the child, then it's going to become a vice. And what dads help with is drawing a line between empathizing with the child and being controlled by
this is just storytelling. I don't even know what the fuck he's going on about. Does he have a script for this?
The desires of that child. And so without that presence, the child is going to try to exploit the empathetic and nurturing instincts of the mother to satisfy their own desires. And they're quite often very successful at that. And so this ends up teaching.
So wait. All moms will just let their kids walk over them? I don't know if this guy's like projecting or whatever. This is not the experience that I or many of my friends, what is this storytelling? Ah, yes, all men are stoic chads who set or enforce boundaries, but the mom will set them, but the kid will walk over the mom. What? Yeah, this is hard projection. I don't know if Doyle over here like asked his mom for a handy one time and she like gave in because he was mommy's special boy, and since then he's just kind of assumed women will do whatever you ask of them if you're their kid. I don't know like where he came at this from, but it's really weird.
The child to be emotionally manipulative towards people because they lack that empathy because they were never taught it. And just as important in the relationship between fathers and their children is how they interact with each other through activities. Kids need to roughhouse. We've seen that studies of baby rats that engaged in rough and tumble activity find that they become less aggressive and have more social skills as adults. And the same is true of kids. Firstly, because it
Okay.
teaches them that they're not fragile. They have some confidence in themselves, like they fall off the couch.
I will say, by the way, this is true. I've seen studies to this effect. Letting kids roughhouse, play around, explore places, get in a little bit of danger, playhouses, whatever, that is good for kids. I agree with that. I don't know why moms can't do this.
They're like, wow, that didn't even hurt that bad. I'm basically Superman, right? Like stuff like that. But they also realize their own capacity to hurt other people, which is arguably just as important because it's like, okay, well, Johnny, your sister doesn't want to play with you anymore because you smacked her in the head with a pirate sword. And so you kind of think to yourself, okay, well, I like playing with my sister, so I guess if I want to keep playing with her, I should probably avoid smacking her in the head with my pirate sword in the future. And dads are the ones that facilitate that type of play because
as it's well known, mothers will never tell their kids not to smack each other with pirate swords, but dads will. You need a dad around in case a pirate sword is there, because otherwise the kid might do a hit and the mom won't be able to stop. What are we?
Moms don't really like it. Right? Roughhousing tends to scare mothers because not only is she fearing for the safety of her children, but then that's amplified because she looks at dad and she's like, oh, great, he's behaving like a child too.
No, what? No, I don't know. I mean, I'm anecdote Andying over here, but my mom was more permissive of me and my brother wrestling than my dad was. Yeah, this is literally just like mommy issue storytelling. What the fuck is he going on about? Do people watch this and assume this is in any way like a legitimate reflection of like, but yeah, the level of projection here is fucking insane to me. Is this the 50s? Well, that's the thing. Everything that he's saying that he's treating like biological fact is just a projection of fucking black and white movies. He's read too many comics where the mom will say something and the father will say, "Listen to your mother, dear," while smoking a pipe and reading a newspaper on the couch or something. That's that's it. That's the whole lens through which he. There's a really interesting article that I read back in my college days about the reciprocity of social expectation. How people will live their lives the way media tells them to live it, and then media will shape their production off the way people live their lives. It was about MTV, how MTV produced this youth culture, and they were basically bullshitting it because it was a bunch of like 50-year-olds in charge, But what they were doing was observing the kids, and they were reflecting youth culture off what they saw the kids doing, but the kids were only basing their behavior off what they learned off MTV. So it was like this cycle that you can't really escape, and that's kind of what we're looking at here with John Doyle. John Doyle, consumed a bunch of, I guess I don't know if this is like mommy issues or like if he just watched a bunch of like I Love Lucy or something. And now he's regurgitating this, supporting it with 800-year-old non-meta-analysis articles that don't even support his point every 5 minutes. And he's producing this narrative for a new generation. Things that are not necessarily true being prescribed as biological truths because the people who are advocating for them are either incredibly stupid or are willing to lie for a political agenda.
Like, you know, she'll come in because she hears screaming. She runs in and it's just you, your dad, and your sister, and you're all just beating each other with N4 swords, and then you all just kind of pause and like look at mom like a deer in the headlights. But playing with dad is fun because it's like a roller coaster. Like, it's exciting because you know you're safe. Dad might be throwing you into water or a pile of leaves. Maybe he's got you sitting on his shoulders while walking around downtown. Maybe he's throwing you off his shoulders onto your bed. A lot of dad stuff is just throwing your child.
This is just storytelling. This is so weird. Doyle, I don't know what we need. Like Freud in on this. We need like a guest streamer or something. I need like a psychotherapist because he's just like saying shit. What? One thing that astonishes me. Sorry, I have an eyelash in my eye and my nails are really long and it is killing me. One thing that really astonishes me is like how boring the world they imagine is. Like in their world, all moms are the same and all dads are the same, and you just have to fulfill your biological role of having children. There's no room for individual expression. There's no room for like individuality. It's just you just have like a slot and you have to fill that slot and then that's it. And that's life. Life is just finding roles that were built for you before you were born and then filling it and complaining as little as possible. And in that way, you know, he really is the archetypical conservative, you know, anti-freedom, anti-individuality, anti-individual expression, pro-hierarchy, you know, pro-obedience.
Very important component. But while that's happening, the kid is having fun because he or she knows that dad is still protecting them despite the appearance of potential harm.
I'm just gonna skip the rest of this projection stuff because this video was supposed to be on Simps. You know, the funny thing is, if I wanted to do a video on how it's important to have a father around in the family, I could do an infinitely better job of it than this. I could absolutely support my point. Much more substantively than this. I could convince you guys that you need a father in your family if I wanted to. This is really bad.
Harm.
All right, yep. All moms are like your mom and all dads are like your dad.
We've seen that toddlers whose dads encouraged exploring while set.
Okay. He's still
times up there and I was like, "Hi, Dad." And
he's
all of it. The fact that women, there was no excuse.
Are we back? Are we back to Simps?
Actually, living with dads are less likely to have discipline, and researchers consistently find that fathers who spend time with their children give their children the gifts of self-control.
Okay.
You're probably gonna lust after women on the internet instead of going out and meeting actual women in real life. And again, this is not an excuse. There is no excuse for simping. Ever. Don't do it.
But what is simping? You left it kind of poorly defined. Because you just lumped all behavior you think men shouldn't engage in into simping.
But we can acknowledge that boys raised without fathers are set up for failure. And again, that doesn't mean that they're always going to fail, but it does mean that they're going to have to overcome a lot more. And the implications of this are very serious. We've talked a lot about that before, along with...
And I should point out, by the way, there is no evidence to suggest that you need a man in your family. Now, single-parent households without a dad are bad because there are kids being raised by one parent. A parent who usually has to work 2 or 3 fucking jobs, meaning that they don't have much time to spend with their kids. Yeah, usually in poverty. Obviously, not having a dad around is bad if the alternative to having a dad around is to have a one-parent household. That doesn't say anything intrinsically about men's role in raising children. It has more to do with, say, for example, the second income earner's role in raising children.
What's caused the single motherhood rate to...
I know some of you guys think this video is boring, but A, I haven't done Doyle in like 8 months, And B, it's really important for us to recognize how pseudo-intellectual traditional conservatism gets pushed. This is legitimate stuff for you and for me to learn from. This is how you convince young, disaffected men that the only way to alleviate their existential suffering is to return to restrictive, destructive social roles that he only knows about because he's imagining and filling in the gaps of what he saw in fucking 1950s TV series. Oh, yeah. And by the way, if you ever want to know what the scientific consensus is on a specific subject, What We Know is a great site, public policy research portal, because it collects meta-analyses. Below are 75 studies concluding that the children of gay or lesbian parents fare no worse than other children's. Click here to jump to the 4 studies concluding that children of gay and lesbian parents face disadvantages. Now, those disadvantages may not necessarily be a product of the gay or lesbian parents, but rather social stigma. There's a reason why they worded it this way. This is a massive, overwhelming statistical plurality, indicating that everything John Doyle is saying here about not having a man around, because it has to tie back to the importance of masculinity and traditional conservatism, is complete horseshit. Massive horseshit. I'm going to post this in chat in case any of you guys ever want to take a peep. Very useful stuff, you know? It's always fun to see data disproving what people say.
Increase in the first place. But for now, we're just kind of focused on how it emotionally and socially, basically developmentally handicaps children, but particularly young men. And so then aside from that, we have the declining testosterone levels of Western men. So first we'll talk about some of the things that are causing that, but then
Western men. I'm doing the parentheses here.
We'll talk about why it's bad. So basically, one of the biggest issues with testosterone levels is the amount of stuff that we're putting into our bodies that kill testosterone.
Yeah, it's like a food thing.
And this isn't just the phytoestrogens. Ooh. This is junk food too. And
well, hold on. What was that?
Bodies that kill testosterone. And this isn't just the phytoestrogens.
It's not the phytoestrogens at all, actually, because phytoestrogens are plant estrogen. It has no effect on humans. Phytoestrogens aren't estrogen. So it's not that at all. That's the soy meme. You guys know the soy meme because soy has phytoestrogens? It has nothing to do with human estrogen. It's completely unrelated. So I don't know why we're looking at this very large man.
This is junk food too. And part of the reason for that is that when you add fat tissue, it literally starts to convert the testosterone in your body into estrogen. But part of that would also be the soy boy phenomenon. Again, right? Ha, soy boy, this is a funny meme, but there's truth behind it. Basically, soybeans contain high amounts of phytoestrogens, which are...
He's doing it again! He's doing it again! They can't. This video came out like a week ago. They can't. Even when all of the pseudoscience is completely debunked, they run right back to it. Soy vey? I'm gonna be charitable and assume this isn't from a Nazi site. I don't know. I'm feeling suspicious.
Are organic compounds that mimic the female hormone estrogen?
No, they don't. They do not mimic the female hormone estrogen in any way, shape, or form. They're just called phytoestrogens because scientists are fucking lamos and they just reuse names all the time. Phytoestrogens have nothing to do with estrogens. It's completely different. It's completely different. They mimic it in shape. Yeah, mimicking a molecular compound in shape means about as much to its effect on the human body as mimicking its color when it's colorized by fucking science organizations.
In the human body, and in animal studies, they've been shown to reduce testosterone levels. And research from the Department of Nutrition at the Harvard School of Public Health found that men who ate at least half a serving a day of soy had, on average, 34 million fewer sperm per milliliter than those who skipped soy. Side note, sperm counts have decreased 60% in the last 40 years.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with testosterone levels. Also, animal studies. This is literally just the fucking H-Bomber guy video. Yeah, H-Bomb. So in case anyone is curious, and I know everyone has seen this video, but he's done the research, and I haven't. In case you ever want to see...
Hey there, you might have...
This H-Bomber guy video debunks literally everything here. It's just another way for pea-brained demagogues to make you fearmonger over what it is you're putting in your body, so you can sort of redirect that general level of suspicion towards your physiology and the physiologies of others. Yeah, this video literally goes over the same articles. Everything that he's saying here has been completely debunked. And I know John Doyle knows that this has happened because everyone knows about this video who talks about this subject, and he nonetheless still pushes it. Because John Doyle doesn't care whether or not he's saying something that's factually accurate.
The West, not just because of soy, but while we're on the topic, I feel like it's important to note. Also important to note.
I thought this video was about simps. Okay, guys, remember what I said about conservatives not, or fascists not being able to leverage socioeconomic understandings of things, so they have to resort to the biological because essentialism is the only thing they're capable of understanding? This is such a perfect representation of that fact. This is a video about simps, a term that only came to public use in the past year! I know the term has existed for that, but the whole, like, everyone calling everyone else a simp, this is relatively recent. We had simp, we had soy boy, a lot of words we run through, okay? This is all an incredibly recent fucking phenomenon, and this guy has spent more than half of the video talking about dads and cum. And again, and listen, me too, John Doyle. I also wish that you had gotten the daddy dick that you craved in your youth, okay? And I guess today, because you are still very, very young. But I came here to talk about simps! Everything you've posted so far is irrelevant or untrue. This is boring, John!
Note,
skip!
The industry totaled $4.5 billion.
Still talking about soy!
Which was, as of like, stuff into baby formula, and that's just
still talking about soy
as of like 1990. Low T, right? You know, testosterone even matter for men, right?
He's still talking about soy and testosterone.
That your best case scenario is going to be in a situation where you are free to reach your own potential without anyone getting in your way or holding you back. Conversely, if you're a man who's not strong, you're not confident, you're anxious, you know that your best case scenario is going to be in a situation where the outcome is equal for everyone.
What the fuck are we talking about? Weak men want equality? Wait, what is this pseudo-philosophy?
So if you're a man who is strong, capable, confident, ready to compete, you know that your best case scenario is going to be in a situation where you are free to reach your own potential without anyone getting in your way or holding you back.
And if you have empathy, which John Doyle earlier said was a virtue, you, if you're strong, would agree that everyone should be able to enjoy that freedom to reach their own potential without anyone holding them back. I completely agree, John Doyle. Yes, strong people want to make the world a fair playground because that allows everyone to reach their potential. And weak beta males want to reinforce traditional hierarchies because their mediocre asses could never cut it unless society was privileged in their favor. I completely agree.
Conversely, if you're a man who's in a situation to compete with a system that is going to produce the best results for you, which is a system.
What are we?
If you're listening, if a guy ever tells you that he's a feminist, he's lying to you, and you should point and laugh.
And I want to say, by the way, this is a common right-wing meme that there are no male feminists because they're all like thirsting for pussy or whatever. And I want to say this. So I have two things to say on this. For one, I have gotten an obscene amount of pussy, in part because I'm a feminist. Do you know how I do it? I don't do it by walking up to girls and telling them I'm a feminist or how great they are or how evil men are. I do it by just being around women and just being fucking normal and hanging out with them and flirting with them. And the feminism helps me not be fucking weird. That's the secret. That's the secret sauce right there. I can just chill around girls, and because I'm a feminist, I'm not constantly fucking internal sweaty manning. I'm not dabbing a bunch of fucking cloths against my face, imagining like all the, oh, well, I want to just hang out and watch this movie, but the femoid mind isn't capable of understanding the production that I'm interested in watching. Not to mention, I noticed her glance 2 times in the past 16 minutes over at Dylan over there, who is at least 3 inches taller than me. I know I'm losing her attention. If I can get her more drunk now, there might still be a chance. No, I can just chill, and that gets me laid. Very easy, you know? And likewise, it is a cruel reflection of how empty these men are inside, like John Doyle, where their thought is, oh, a man is a feminist? There's no way a man would ever want to be that. Just pointing that out. It's just a cruel reflection of their internal world that they can't fathom.
Like, but I'm a feminist. Ha ha ha! Simp! And just so we're clear, you can believe that men and women are...
Got him. Highly intellectual. Ha ha ha.
Equal in the sense that neither is better than the other without being a feminist, which is what most people believe nowadays anyway.
Whoa, all right.
But I'm a feminist. Ha ha ha! Simp!
Okay.
And just so we're clear, you can believe that men and women are equal in the sense that neither...
Equal in what sense?
There is better than the other without being a feminist, which is...
Well, no. Feminism is an ideology which has at its heart the goal of gender equality. At least third wave feminism, intersectionality.
What most people believe nowadays anyway, but...
You don't believe that, though. This whole video was John Doyle talking about biological essentialism and how mothers and fathers are like inherently different from one another. This entire video lays bare the fact that he does not believe men and women are equal. His weird little Instagram vertical video screed at the beginning was about how like men and women are different, but the rule of female subservience means that it's men, the simps, who actually caused the problem to begin with. So, no, you don't get to call that card.
But now you've got a generation of weak men. They're not socialized. They're not confident. Now,
no evidence to suggest this.
This could in theory be corrected if there wasn't something enabling the propagation of this behavior, but this is where social media comes into play. Social media is where most of the simping comes into play. Social media enables these men to hide behind screens and interact with women artificially. Social media is what enables girls to post pictures of themselves and wait for their orbiters to feed them external gratification. And again,
So again, where are we... Guys, wait. Do you want to know something that literally blows this entire narrative apart? This idea that modern social media and low-T males and soy boys and feminism are what lead to this behavior? Guys, the entire practice of courting a woman for a millennia in medieval Europe was infinitely simpier than anything that goes on in social media right now. Holy shit. The entire history of courting, you do realize what that was, guys. Like, do you have any idea? People would literally duel for milady. That wasn't a joke back then. Back then, if there were two guys and a girl in a room, and they were nobles, and both of them liked the girl, one of the guys could actually challenge the other one to a duel to the death over the attention of this woman. These men were literally willing, literal white knights, were willing to kill and die over imagined insults against their miladies. These were high-T males born to nobility, with men and women raising them, and often many more with court aides and what have you. And they would still do this. Far, far worse than anything that happens today. Yeah, and the woman didn't even have to fuck you afterwards. Crazy, right? So that right there, that single-handedly blows this entire narrative out of the water. Do you guys want to know the actual reason why there's an imbalance between men and women when it comes to dating roles and attention given versus attention received? It's patriarchy. It is patriarchy. That is the thing. Hierarchies can only exist through distinction, and it is through the exacerbated distinction we see in a patriarchal society between men and women that the incredibly toxic dating expectations between the two groups have reached the heights that we have seen throughout history. What we have today is a fuckload better than the old days of courting women, I'll tell you that. But yeah, you know what? If you don't want women to be the fucking gatekeepers of sexuality, stop shaming them for fucking a lot of people. If you don't want dudes to be wandering malayed incels who never get pussy unless they're willing to put up money, then A, encourage men to engage in beautification the same way women are encouraged to, and B, elevate men as arbiters of beauty as well, meaning that women will be more expected, more socialized into courting men as well. That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple, folks. That's just what happens. It's just a toxic difference between two disparate social groups that has been made worse through millennia of agitation. Wow, amazing. We could have a future where, you know what, maybe there are some dudes simping after ladies. Maybe there are some ladies simping after dudes. Wouldn't that be nice? Some people simp after me, but not everyone can be a YouTube streamer or whatever. You know, the most sexually desirable of all professions. That's it.
We might do one about the thoughts in the future and their problems, but for now, let's just focus on this. Everyone knows how to be nice, right? And everyone knows how to
Not really. There are a lot of mean people out there.
Be mean. You don't need to be socialized to know that, like in the sense that you can either shower someone with gratification or with hostility. And there's nothing wrong with being nice to a girl. But for a simp, that's all that they have. They overcompensate for their lack of drive, their natural swagger, if you will, lack of ability to compete with.
Simping isn't really being nice to girls, though. It's really weird elevation that kind of dehumanizes them, usually.
Well, I don't have to compete. I'll just be nice. I'll orbit her. I'll give her attention and compliments and money and everything. And eventually she's going to remember me and she's going to want to be with me. Like, get a grip, man. Women don't like nice guys.
Okay. Jesus. That beta orbiter stuff isn't being a nice guy. It's being a nice guy. People usually like nice people. Yeah, this is some Stefan Molyneux shit right here. There's so much to get into because I feel like I'm reading like the incel forums. I feel like I'm reading Brain Cells before it got nuked, you know? So just to clarify, okay? Just to clarify, God, he's projecting right now. Listening to a 17-year-old or whatever the fuck he is screeching about how women don't like nice guys. Whew. Listen, this like weird simping stuff isn't being like a nice guy. You're not being like nice to women when you do that. You're being nice. You're being phony. You're being deferential in the hopes of fucking. That's not good, okay? It's not great, all right? Being nice, like just being nice to people, yeah, women like that. Everyone likes that. There are some people who don't like that. There are men who will interpret kindness as antagonism, and there are women who, usually because they've been brainwashed after abusive prior partners, don't believe they are worthy of kindness and will deliberately seek out partners who treat them poorly. These are things that happen, but most of the time, people like being treated nicely.
Men like nice women, but women do not like nice guys. And again, that doesn't mean that women don't like it when guys are nice, but women don't like guys who are nice guys. Do you get it?
Okay, well, okay, then we agree. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah.
And the reason for that is that happiness is linked with your level of agreeableness. And your level of agreeableness is linked with your income, your status, your dominance, etc.
So there's a fuck ton of correlative factors here that you can't actually make any strong causative statements on because a bunch of different things correlate with a bunch of other different things, and isolating those variables is near impossible. Are we done with this?
Yes.
This whole 5% of this video was simp science.
Man, women don't want a guy who is not dominant, who's making less than they are. It's not a...
See, okay, again, this is weird. Some women want less dominant partners. Some women actually prefer submissive partners. A lot of women prefer equal partners. And also, I mean, I guess everyone wants a partner who makes a lot of money, but I don't think. But I think that's pretty ubiquitous. Let me tell you this. Just I'll tell you this. I make a decent amount of money now because of you guys. But if I didn't, I gotta say, I would like the idea of having a girlfriend who makes a lot of money. That does sound pretty good. I mean, I feel like that's just a general desire. I don't think that's very gendered necessarily.
attractive. In fact, women say happiness, which is linked with agreeableness and being nice, is one of the least attractive traits in men. But men say it's the most attractive trait in women. But with pride...
Interesting. So are women... So there are two non-compatible beliefs here. I'm going to assume that all of this is true, which it probably isn't. But even if it was, this guy over here, this Deuterino, probably believes that women partners seek based on characteristics that would be advantageous to child rearing. But then they actively seek out unhappy people. Now here's a question for you guys. What do you think is more likely? That females are biologically predisposed to not seek happy men, or that decades of media that idealizes the grouchy, stoic man who growls a lot and gets shit done may have affected their general perception of what is ideal in a partner. And likewise, you know, media has portrayed the ideal woman, for the most part, as being pretty happy. That's the manic pixie dream girl stuff, you know? Is it possible that people are affected by media and that advertising, which is a multi-billion-dollar business, isn't completely fake? Is it possible that our preferences can be influenced by society and we are not absolute slaves to our biology? Well, it depends on who you watch. Because if you watch John Doyle, when he's not completely making up claims and projecting from his sad childhood, he will often arrive at positions and then assert, just sort of naturally, that they are a biological essentialism, and therefore, because of a naturalistic fallacy, that they should be pursued. You know? It's a really common one, again, with fascists, because to acknowledge that societal influences can change how a person behaves exonerates people of behavior in many cases. It allows you to blame a society rather than to blame an individual. You will note, however, that I guarantee you people like John Doyle are the first ones to cry about how schools are discriminatory against boys because because boys don't perform as well as girls there. Yeah, John Doyle has definitely gotten worse since the last time I checked this boy out. Actually, wait, does he have a video on that? I'm actually so curious. Boys are just dumb, sorry. Wow, unironic misandry. Huh. You know, when you look up John Doyle on YouTube, you get not John Doyle stuff. And on how to stop mass shootings. This is one of the ones we went over together on stream. White kid beaten by black kids for supporting Trump. Heck off, commie. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why is demand for private education booming? I don't know. Is it to get the white kids away from the black kids? Imagine if the races were swapped. It's okay to be white. Black culture is scary stuff. Sorry for slavery. If my child ever brought this home to me, I would burn down half of the local ghetto. Yeah, this is just from a month ago. Damn, John Doyle's come a long way. Come a long way over the past few months. I really like this face he's making here. I think we've gotten everything we can get out of this video. Wait, shouldn't boys be toughened up, though? Yeah, I think that toughening up and boys and girls, I think that being tough is generally a good thing. I don't know what that has to do with this video, though. Boy, that was weird. Doyle mentioned Nick earlier. Does he hang with Fuentes now? Mentioning Nick in a positive light is all it takes for me to consider a person a neo-Nazi. Nick is an open and about neo-Nazi. If you like, there's no way to be as online as you are to be a YouTuber and not know that. I'm going to go over donations now, and I'm going to go over them quickly because then I've got to end the stream. And you guys, whew, hold on. Demon Mama with the $5, you're right, and I appreciate it. Let it be known I'm devoted to left victory regardless of any strategic disagreements, but you made a great case here and you deserve payment for helping me learn. I love you, Demon Mama. I just like talking on stream. Wolfgar with the $5, I've included this message in Donut before, but before people get too pessimistic, I think it's relevant to remember that the majority of leftists used to be liberals. Persuade and convert until you die. That's true. That is absolutely true. Invicta with the $5, let me be clear, I would probably support any damn candidate. Just saying that I think there's a chance that 4 years of Trump would be less dangerous, still juggling it in my mind, though. It is a difficult and complicated question. The whole accelerationism angle, I think it's a lot more complicated than a lot of people want to give it credit for. Julie with the $5. Oh, I saw you in chat. You have the audacity to sit here and actually tell me as a trans person that voting for Bloomberg or Biden is harm reduction. The fuck, dude? My state's going to Trump anyway. The last point notwithstanding, yes, having Bloomberg or Biden is less harmful to trans people than Trump. Yes, I'll say that to your face as a trans person. 100%. Werewolf 435 with the $5. Can we please talk about this super quick? It's super important, but literally nobody is saying shit. The destruction of the ICE documents. Yeah, I need to go over that. Yeah, I need to go over that 100%. It's the ICE documents being destroyed. I need to go over this. ICE is probably like running rape dungeons on the border, and we'll never fucking know. Cringe. Park Bench for the $5. Thank you for yelling at me, Dad. No problem. Prophet of Shit with the $3. What was your worst thing about the SOTU address, in your opinion? I personally gagged uncontrollably when I saw Jean Guaido on screen. I didn't actually see the State of the Union address. I was busy in Seattle. I need to go rewatch it or something. Probably the fact that a Presidential Medal of Freedom was given to fucking Rush Limbaugh. That's pretty bad. Bury with the $5. Gargantia on the Verduros planet for master tier social consciousness, transhumanism, ethics of war. I don't know what that means, but the Gargantia sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty rad, I guess. And I'm in favor of whatever it is you're saying. Zonia with the $5. Voss shouts at and belittles his chat. Donos come flooding in. We're all masochistic as fuck. Here's another 5-spot belittle me, baby. Anytime, comrade. Happy to. Absolutely happy to. I'll watch the Majority Report coverage. That sounds fun. Vontux with the $5. People that are against nuclear power are effectively for the damage done by carbon via climate change. In a consequentialist sense, yeah. And I am a consequentialist. Red A with the $5. That really cranks my hog when people, especially environmentalists, say nuclear energy is terrible when it's objectively better than everything else. All the modern issues with it stem from capitalism. 100% agreed. Yes. Besottish John with the $1. So if you had a small dick, you would fuck a Nazi then? No, because if I had a smaller dick, I'd probably be better at eating pussy. So, and I wouldn't want to give them that either, or eating ass or whatever. I mean, it's hard to... I got up the volume on that. Eating ass is pretty easy though. Wait, but you are good at eating pussy? Yeah, but like better then. That'd be even better. Thank you, Hyena, for reassert. Everyone in chat, take note. There we go. Official confirmation. Thank you. Never say another thing again in chat. Kaz with the €2. I love you. I hate your chat. I love everything. I have no hate in my heart. Jake from State Farm with the incredibly generous $30. Thank you so goddamn much, comrade. Hello, been busy, but I caught the stream. Take some money. Maybe stream yourself playing Pathologic 2 for me so I don't have to. Super interested after the H-bomb vid. I might, comrade. I don't know how well that would like play out on stream, but if there's any game I would play out on stream, if it had a lot of dialogue, it would be that. Hey, Wax Newman, I'm 6'2". Get it right. Thank you so much for the incredible generosity, Jake from State Farm. I really appreciate it. Quoteth with the $5. You have a lot of ex-righties in your base who are now left. Thanks, me too. Have you ever thought about making a video for fans on how to pull apolitical/reactionaries leftwards as you did to us? Yeah, I need to do that. Yeah, I got to do that. That's something I should do. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, true. That's true. Pretty true. Yeah, that feel when only 5'14". Feels bad, man. I should go over that. That'd be a good idea. Alan Hannigan with the $2. Can I get a yeehaw for a fellow Vermonter? Woo? Yeehaw, comrade. Thank you for birthing us, Bernie Sanders. And Somnio Static with the incredibly generous Tier 4 subscription. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I typed something in chat and my name was gray and that's fucking disgusting. I'm not a plebeian. Hashtag PNames 2020. True! Get those PNames. Everyone in chat has to celebrate the PNames, comrade. American Failure is currently on screen. Lexify is like dirty pee. Like if you haven't drank much water that day, you know. Celebrate the PNames. Thank you very much, Somniostatic. I really appreciate it. Radical Autism coming out. I've been playing Pathologic thanks to you, Vosh. It's not fun, but goddamn, you're right. It's so fucking good. Goddamn right it is. It's so fucking good. Bitter Brush with a very generous $10. Bernie or bust? I prefer a busty Bernie. I would fuck Femme Bernie. 100%. As thanks, if nothing else. Gigru with the $1. Genuine question. My dad works as a small-time investor, spend about $10K each month on life. His work means that he goes and asks people for money, in most cases friends, to invest with him into dev or films or small projects. Will he get a guillotine? It doesn't seem like your dad is harming anyone other than his friends. If he's spending $10,000 a month and all he's doing is asking other people for money, it just seems like he's mostly ruining other people's lives. But I don't know if he's doing enough like broader societal harm to warrant it. Considering that I believe political violence is wrong, of course, you know, my threshold here would be very, very high anyway. That does sound like it sucks, though. Ronald Rump with the $2. Burner Buster, I'm voting, Burner Bust, I'm voting Trump accelerationist gang. Yeah. The Alchemist YouTube with the $5. Money. True. That's very true. And Keith Schusterman with the $5. I don't know if I could stomach voting for Pete in the general after this Iowa crap, but PA is a big swing state. Stay strong, friend, okay? Stay strong, all right? Somniostatic with the $5. Bernie needs to destroy, not just win. Vote, you worthless motherfuckers. Hey, listen, if people end up bending the knee, that's like ultimate. Best case scenario, we don't have to deal with any of this shit. Just everyone else has to bend the knee to us and suck our giant fucking socialist cocks. That's what I want, okay? Lynn with the $5. $5 for agreeing to the Warren Person debate. Here, hoping it happens. Warren Person debate? I don't know if I'll be debating Warren anytime soon. But, you know, we can always hope, right? Tijuana Foreplay with 100 pesos. Thank you, comrade. Guido Labrat equals Pete Buttigieg. Ah, true. Is Pete Buttigieg Latin? Not actually sure. DJ Zerda with the $5. Pippo Hub Dank, Burn Dank, Blob Dance Hug Love. True, comrade. Let's see if anyone in chat can get the combo right. Oh, they mean Skelly? Ah, well, that'll probably happen down the line. Asian with the tier 1 sub. Thank you. Thanks for doing what you do. Your content has helped me through a lot of tough times. Oh, well, hey, comrade, you know, I do it because you all give me money, you know? Just keep giving me money. I'll keep doing it. No. I'm very happy to be able to do what I do. Thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate it, comrade. Yeah, that's what Warren needs to do to win the socialist vote, is come on my stream. Mohanjan with the 690. Bernie wants to pass you the boof. Do you accept? I do, but I am a weak man and I get high very easily, so I will quickly redistribute the boof to others. Lil Video Main with the $5. This dude's like Soph. He's just parroting right-wing YouTuber talking points he sponged up into his smooth brain. Yeah, he used to be like better, I think. This is like super fucking disappointing. Ding Dong Dangler with the $1. So what I think this study is saying is that the only proper way for trans people to take hormones is to constantly be winning competitions. True, yeah. Trans girls have to never ever win a competition in their life, and trans boys need to just be fucking rocking it. They need to be going to all the Smash tournaments, and therefore, you know, the redistribution of testosterone will take place. It'll be good. Gratchen Ghost with the $1. I think Doyle's theory is some kind of corrupted version of the Freudian view of boys learning how to interact with women via their fathers. It's just a bizarre hodgepodge of dissonant, unsupported theories that he has cobbled together to vaguely support a tradcon viewpoint. It's very cringe. Marcus Seren with the 59 kronar. The majority of Jews in the world identify as Zionists. Does that mean they should all eat a cake shaped like a bullet? Yes, I know this is late. Well, the ones who are Zionists should, absolutely. But the non-Jew ones, the non-Zionist ones, I think are just A-okay. Keep in mind, most of the Zionist support in our country is from neoconservative fundamentalist Christians, so it's hardly like a Jew thing. Ronald Rump with the $2. Doyle is alt-right propaganda. True. And Sai with the $1. Omega Lol, my dad kicked me up the stairs and held me under in a water park wave pool. Also, Streamlabs ate my last dono message. Haha, funny man joke about how progressive it is to elect our first gay rat president. I think rats should be able to vote. Rats, if they could vote, would vote for Bernie. They would consider Pete Buttigieg to be not one of their own. Lil Video Main with the $5. I worked for a scammy supplement company that sold a testosterone booster. It was mostly caffeine. We all knew it was BS to exploit insecure guys. Yeah, that's literally where half the money for InfoWars comes from. You realize that, right? InfoWars lets fucking Alex Jones and PJW scream about how men are all cucked like soup-boned low-T dipshits, and how buying their overpriced pills is going to fix that. And then their pills are just regular, just dumb supplements, but 8 times the price they would be if you got them elsewhere. And they have soy in them. Canadian Populist Left with the incredibly generous $25. Thank you, man. Happy to donate. Been a viewer for almost a year. About a year. Also, federal taxes don't fund government spending. That is good to know. We don't have state taxes here in Washington, so it's all going to the federal government anyway, right? Thank you very much, comrade. I really appreciate it. Nyan Socks with the $5. Hi, Vosh. I really like your stream, and especially your support from a man, Bernie. I don't know if we're allowed to post links, but if not, just ignore this. Oh, no. What am I looking at? Bernie is black.
Avengers!
And any more than that, and I'm getting 100% fucking demonetized for the Avengers song. That was the most liberal support of Bernie Sanders I have ever seen in my life. Thank you, Noun Socks. I appreciated it very much. I love you. I hope you know that. You can post links whenever you want. Dave Squatch with the $5. Bernie Sanders is the dad we all need. True, and Heartbroken Lamb with the $2. Did you know John Doyle is going to be debating actual Jake tomorrow on Modern Day Debates? Don't miss it. Oh, really? John Doyle pussied out of debating me, but he's going to debate fucking actual Jake? Oh, whatever. Sure, okay. Okay, dude. I look forward to seeing it. Asger HB with the 20 kronar, thank you. Thinks being nice is easy, probably not actually nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's very nice to advocate for traditional conservatism personally, but that's just me. Leftopus with the $2. I'm debating vegan gains at 6 about capitalism. Nice! Get him! I think he's fairly unreceptive to the subject, but I hope it goes well. Laura Stark with the $6. Thank you, comrade. I really appreciate it. Likewise, HCYN_. Hing with the unbelievably generous $20. Thank you so fucking much, comrade. I really appreciate that. No dono message either. Just pure unadulterated kindness. Pope Jupiter with the $20. Thank you, my man. That is really, really kind of you. Lorem ipsum dolor sit emet consectator adipising elite in sceleris ipsum sed eros mollis sit amet roncos non blandit. Duis amasa et enim fringilla venenatis maecenas sodales place rat justo. Nailed it. Got it. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Is lorem ipsum filler text? Yeah, well, there we go. I said it. I said the words. What do you want from me? Flawless. Thank you, Pope Jupiter. I love you. Hammer time with the $1. I don't feel I can tell anyone to vote for harm reduction, as I am not totally sure, but if you're not going to vote, you better be organizing another way for the cause. Yeah, there's never an excuse to sit on your ass. That's for sure. Posadas John with the $1. Doyle may be right about testosterone. I'm playing Doom right now, and my beard has grown twice as long. I mean, if there was any game to advance testosterone like levels, I've been playing a Hat in Time fucking Death Wish levels, and that shit's been upping my testosterone. Will you always read donations? As long as it's sustainable, and at this point, it's just barely sustainable, you know. Neon Noir with the £5. Thank you. Sex bots are part of Allende's cyber syndicalism. Engage with them to build a centralized AI-based distribution system. I don't trust AI, all right? I don't trust no fucking robots deciding how society is organized. But I will fuck robots. I am okay with that. Would I fuck robots? I don't know. would I? How much would I really get out of a sex bot? Unless it has like sentience or whatever, then it's cool. Araxio with the $5. Germany 2 days ago, the literal actual fascist AfD allied with the liberal FDP to steal an election from the socialist Die Link. Hell world. Damn! Liberals allying with fucking fascists to prevent socialism? Damn. Certainly not. Haha, it's so funny to see the commies angry. I love living. I love living. And I love being alive, frankly. What beauty there is in this world. Incredible. Thank you, Araxio. Maybe something I'll cover. Alan Hannigan with the $2. Take political compass test while watching the debates. Yeah, I always got to do something during the debates. I'll probably draw. Or maybe I can bring Conyer in. Wait, where is Conyer? Huh? No? Oh. Damn, dude, Conyer's meditating. What a fucking Chad. Holy shit. I don't even know how to meditate. NPC Porky with the $3. Hey, would you see and debunk this bad tanky video against sex work and its anti-lumpenproll message? Are we getting back on the tanky arc? Oh, I've seen this. I've seen this. I'm not giving this video attention. I'm not giving this fucking video attention. Fuck this. It's a gigantic fucking anti-sex work video from, like, these are basically Nosballs. I wouldn't, like, they're further than tankies. They're basically Nosballs. Nah, fuck that. Frosty T.O. with the $5. I don't like the military fetishization stuff, but few people do the blue-collar Americana shit better than this guy. Support Paula, too. Oops.
24 years serving this country, it's clear what that oath means to me today. The United States and will never leave a fallen.
Is this guy leftist?
Disciplined, physically and mentally, and myself. I am an expert and I am a professional. I stand ready to deploy.
He's a suck them
and destroy the enemies of the United States.
Soak them, I'll take.
Of America. I am an American.
The left does need more shit like this, though. In order for us to build a broader base, it's not enough for the left to just have a bunch of fucking sardonic, smug, coffee shop, anime-loving, nerds. We need more people like this, too. We watched his ad before on stream. Yeah, I think I remember that, yeah. But yeah, definitely Frosty Tio. Koshka Lenskaya with the 690. Thank you. Just got back from the hospital. I have Reynolds, apparently, who officially won the caucus. The caucus still is it's being recounted now. What is Reynolds? Whatever it is, that sounds like it sucks. I'm sorry. I hope that you feel better soon, comrade. We'll just say Bernie won, okay? Bernie won. And Tijuana Foreplay with 100 pesos. Thank you. Did you catch the debate on Killstream between Red Elephants and Jangle's Science Lad? Holy smokes, dude. Vince got absolutely destroyed. Yeah, no shit. I've talked with Jangle's Science Lad. Jangle's Science Lad is smart. I haven't seen it, though. But I'm not at all surprised by the results. I have had very little free time as of late, unfortunately, but I'm doing my best. NPC Porky with the $1. Say it with me. Liberals hate socialists more than fascists. With a clap between every word. And last but not least, Mohanjan with the $5. Pronounce this. If you pass this test, you will be considered an honorary Dane. Redgrid Midflid. Redgrid Midflid. There. That's my guess. I don't know what those O's with the little slashes through them are for, but I think I nailed it. I love you all very much. You're beautiful, guys. Unfortunately, I can't host anyone. I have some good news. We are going to be streaming again in 2 hours and 30 minutes. To do the Democratic primary debates. All right. I love you all very much. I'll see you. Oh, Venom Hunter 344 with the $5. Thank you. I made an expose video on you. Yes, I saw it. I was delighted by it. Thank you, comrade. I very much appreciate it. Yeah, it's Richard Ojada. Gotcha. I'll check them out. All right, folks. There's a debate in 2.5.
What the fuck is going on in here?
There we go. Done with your fucking meditating?
Yeah, I'm on the wrong side.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? What the fuck is this setup, dude? What are you looking at?
Well, normally I have the chat up here. I just clicked off it.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
What's up, everybody? I'm Conyer from Conyer.cc fame. ConyerCC on Twitch. What's happening? I got a cup of water. This guy's been very nice and gracious. I've been having a great time in Seattle.
What would you rate it out of 10? Seattle, I mean.
Seattle, the city? Probably... Well, I've been to NYC. So I think I liked what I saw in NYC a little bit more, but I also saw more of it. So it's possible that, you know, if I see more of Seattle, that'll go up. But so far, I think it's like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. We got to get you there in the daytime, too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not fucking raining all the time.
I mean, it was okay.
Yeah. All right, we got to get the D live stream set up. All right, love you guys. Peace. You're coming on during the debates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be prettier then, too, so look forward to that.